this gives me the opportunity to tell you about what's coming up overnight on ITV and beyond. Paraguay is a 4 a.m. start in the UK. ITV1 STV essential that Turkey win that game. And Saturday night, 8 o'clock, Germany against Cote d'Ivoire. Germany, after their brilliant performance and goal-laden victory over Curacao, take on one of Africa's best. They also got an opening week victory, ITV1 and STV. Let's find out what Emma Hayes has made of the opening 26 minutes. Emma.
Well, let's focus on the first half.
You don't need another voice in your head or any instruction if you can rely on the imperial self within you. The very last thing that the control is one. That's why they send you to school early, right? That's why a lot of things are happening. That's why the kids are on their cell phones just gawking at them morning, noon, and night. That cell phone is going to be, eventually instructing you on everything that you want to do in life.
It'll be implanted in you.
Yeah. Probably implanted, yeah. We're heading straight for that. And people will not be forced. They'll be lining up. They've been tenderized from it with all the video games and what have you, done for a long, long time. And they've also been equally warned about it by other magnificent movies and stuff, but nobody's listening. So the remedy to it is, of course, self-food. But who are the people around who are helping you develop your self-esteem? Who are the teachers around that are helping you delve into the significance of a self? Carl Jung was, right? Ayn Rand was. There are a few others here and there. But generally speak, Crowley was. That's why I think he's a great man, and I wrote my article on it, So I'm glad you asked about that because, those 3 points, I think are key. If a man is good, then he wants to learn about that goodness. He wants to uncover the mysteries of himself and the moral universe. Therefore, you have occultism. It could be a way to restore knowledge of a golden age that was taken from us abruptly, and like a smashed mirror, all these wonderful teachings and traditions were smashed up into millions of pieces. We're trying to put it all together, glue it all back. That's what occultism is, or it's a throwback to the bicameral period. I don't have the answer. I just present these three, because in my research through the years, I've isolated these as being the most important. That doesn't mean that now you exclude everything else that could be said about it, but through the years, these are the three outstanding categories that I put this subject into.
Hello.
When it comes to the origins of the occult.
Hello and welcome. My name is Madi, and this is the next episode of Vocation. Once again, I'm very pleased to announce I'm joined by the great Michael Tessarian. And today we're going to be speaking a bit about the occult as well as Aleister Crowley. Just to maybe start us off or set us up, would you maybe give us a few words of introduction, Michael, for the topic we're going to be looking at today, if that sounds all right?
Well, right. The occult goes back a long way, I think, to understand it. One can get lost in the activity of it, the ceremonial aspect of it. I'm more interested in its origin. And this would include subjects like magic, divination, and even the paranormal to a certain extent. They're all mixed in. But I think it's wrong to, like some people do, to date the word occultism and the phenomena of occultism from, say, Madame Blavatsky in the 19th century, and some people go back to the 16th century with, Cornelius Agrippa. Look, this is ridiculous. The occult was there at the building of the pyramids. We even have papyri back in Egypt, which contain spells, and they're quite clearly magical in nature, and you have the same thing in India. So this is a very, very age-old thing, and I don't know, we have a slide there, that slide I sent you. If you want to show that, I can briefly, because I have to give you my approach, because there's so many ways of approaching this subject. But I tend to always break it down into three main categories of understanding. And these three are for me key. Now there's like many more ways to approach the subject of the occult, but I'd like to break it down into these three categories, and they're not necessarily connected, although you can find connections between them. The first is this, what I call the pre-Adamite age. The second way to account for it is this bicameral age, which involves the work of the psychologist Julian Jaynes. We'll get to that in a minute. And then finally, there's a concept of the moral universe. So maybe we can cover those three in introduction, just briefly. The first one, pre-Adamite, what is that? Well, we've all heard about Atlantis. And I've written my first book on Atlantis, and that's what I'm really referring to. Because in that book, I pick up the story of mankind from the foundation of Atlantis onwards to the present day, with only a very brief reference to what might have existed before the founding of Atlantis. And I don't necessarily believe that Atlantis was a particularly positive, establishment, so to speak. I think some very evil things went on. And this is not usually covered by anyone in the paranormal. You get a few people that sort of parallel my work. I think Zachariah Sitchin would be there. Some of his work is very, very good. I think William Bramley, who wrote Gods of Eden. And maybe a few other minor people. Those are the two big ones that I would follow in their tradition. But what about this earlier epoch? It was the epoch in which I believe our original archaic ancestors existed. This would be what's hinted at when you hear in Asia about the great yugas and the great golden age. A period that we know very little about. And the reason why we don't know a lot about it is because the civilizations that existed then were entirely wiped out. And this is what I talk about in my Atlantis book, picking up from that moment. And this involves, strangely, many things, the spreading of disease, but it also involves atomic war, the famous war of the gods that is spoken about in most of the mythologies of the world. But I take it so far as to say that this was a fairly deliberate act of mass genocide in which the world of our ancestors, these are our true human ancestors, was annihilated. And the ones who remained were genetically manipulated, giving rise to then, the post-Atlantean period, the period from about 13,000 years BC onwards. And it's well known that about 13,000 BC, there was massive cataclysm, which has been noted. Many even roll-on effects after that. One day we might do something, that even talks about that. We're getting into these ages of catastrophe. But this one around 13,000 BC was really monumental and worldwide. And it included floods, it included volcanoes, included perhaps even massive asteroid and comet behavior. But in my work, I say that a great deal of this was precipitated by humanoid action. A great war that took place that is in fact mentioned in the ancient records, what we have left of them. And one could discuss this, endlessly, this whole thing about the war of the gods and the aftermath. All we want to focus on now, because we're talking here about the occult sciences and the esoteric tradition, is to emphasize this point, that civilizations that had been going on this planet for hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, were summarily wiped out. And so what I believe is the occult tradition, this is moving in past that period, even moving up into the AD period and onwards, is a rather haphazard attempt for the post-Adamic man to try and piece together the immense gnosis that was known to our ancients. Can you read that Lawrence Gardner quote? It'll help to explain what I mean.
Absolutely. So this is the quote from Michael's website, michaeltesorian.com/Atlantis book. And this is the quote from Lawrence Gardner. man over 1 million years to progress from using stones as he found them to the realization that they could be chipped and flaked to better purpose. It then took another 500,000 years before Neanderthal man mastered the concept of stone tools, and a further 50,000 years before crops were cultivated and metallurgy was discovered. Hence, by all scales of evolutionary reckoning, we should still be as far removed from any basic understanding of mathematics, engineering, or science. But here we are, only 7,000 years later, landing probes on Mars. So how did we inherit this wisdom, and from whom?
So there you go. Now, in the Atlantis book, I answer that partly by just saying, well, it comes with the territory of the beings that visited us and genetically manipulated us. And I didn't, as I say, talk about what existed in the more archaic prehistoric world before that. But it's good to bring it out now, in this context, that a great deal of why we were so advanced is because we are already descendants of something immensely advanced. And the existence of Göbekli Tepe, the ruins in Peru, the megaliths of Ireland, and of course, obviously the Great Pyramids, not to mention Stonehenge and what have you, is the proof of it. We have that in stone, and we have thousands of other anomalies all over the world. And this is part of the occult tradition because, of course, the secrets of what this was all about and who built it have been scrubbed. The powers that be know exactly, what happened. And they know all about the fall of the Arctic homeland, and they know about the existence and destruction of Atlantis and why it was destroyed and all the rest of it. But to narrow our focus again to the occult, we have to understand that what we call occultism is this haphazard attempt to reconstitute the ancient gnosis that is ultimately lost. What we're getting is piecemeal, but it is born from this idea that there once was a massive advanced civilization lost to time, lost to our ancestors, but the gnosis of it, that which was at the heart of it, beings like the Druids, beings like the Magi, the Chaldeans, the Egyptian mystics, they were trying to put this together. So this would be one of the answers, and it's a rich answer, and you can follow it up. It explains a great deal when you dive into these different cultures and you look at what they were doing and how successful they may have been. Because you see, when I talk about this, I'm also including some of the world's great epic tales and epic texts, like the Upanishads, the Vedas, the Puranas, the Norse Edda, things like that. Some of the ancient mythologies that seem to just be strange and inexplicable. The ones of India even mention, you see, flying crafts and Vimanas and the War of the Gods and all of that, but so do many others actually, when you know what you're looking at. So I'm not just including a strictly esoteric tradition of divination, magic, and herbalism, or whatever you want to add into the mix. I'm talking also about references. Because in divination, you also have to include things like astrology and pharmacopoeia, knowledge about herbs, knowledge about the body, knowledge even about the mind, and many, many other things beside. We have done innumerable, interviews on Unslaved, where our guests have brought this out, things that just boggle the mind. So the occult tradition is a kind of a recognition in some way. Not that everybody practicing it is aware of what I'm talking about. These are my own theories. But this is what's happening. A recognition that there was high civilizations, their knowledge was lost, and there's a atavistic memory that sort of, we know that there was something marvelous there, and that we've had this devolution, this declination of wisdom. And some very smart people have probed back into it. This would include things like sacred geometry, for instance, sacred architecture, sacred numerology, such as you get in places like the pyramid, advanced astrology and astronomy, things that are absolutely so advanced, where did it all come from? And as I said, if we think that it came from just the last 2,000 years, we're highly mistaken. Now, the question arises, have we even approached restoring and repairing what was of the ancient world? I don't think so.
Not a little.
No, nowhere near. It's too scrappy. There's still too many mysteries, even in occultism. It's too broken up. One other thing I'll say in this part is that when we had these ancient civilizations of this sort of a pre-Adamite world, I think we were visited many times by extraterrestrial beings who were friendly. Yeah. And there was commerce between us on a fairly regular basis. But after the destruction of this planet and unspeakable cataclysms, visitors returned here expecting to find their friends, expecting to find our ancestors. And yet they find all of these mentally retarded people running around. That's us. And some of these visitations have continued happening. But every time that they've happened, especially in the more of the older world, ancient period, the visitors couldn't believe. It's like you go in, to a house of a friend that you knew, and they open a door and some gibbering idiots have moved in. And you're like, what the hell has happened here? We can't talk to these people. They don't know anything. So these alien beings who were used to visit here and be received in a friendly way and helped instruct our ancestors on how to build these magnificent cyclopean ruins, they just went into hiding. They said, we can't have any more interaction with these people, the ones who are here now. They're not our friends. They don't know anything what's going on. They've been dumbed down. They're like apes. So if and when we ever come back here, which is not going to be too frequent, but we may have to come here for other reasons, let's stay the hell away from the inhabitants of this planet. Something tragic has taken place. So this for me is where the paranormal ties in. Because wherever you go in the world, if you go to the Incas, if you go to the Aztecs, and all over the world, you say, who built these ancient ruins? They go, oh no, we don't know. They were here when we arrived. I think the gods. Everywhere you go, every tribe is only too happy to say it wasn't our ancestors. We don't know. We've taken some of the stones we built on top, which you can visually see when you go to Peru. The crappy building that they've done on top. It's all haphazard and, amateur. Yet underneath it, these foundations are inexplicable. Right? And some of it's just overgrown with forests. And now nobody knows what to do with it. They haven't a clue. In Ireland, they've just been plundering these ancient sites and using them for their walls to keep the sheep in.
Not even.
Yeah. That's sad, isn't it? Yeah, it's lack of recognition of it, but yeah, I know what you mean.
But this anecdote that they all said, others did this. And then when you look into what those others were, you find out that there was not only they believed in visitation from the stars, the star people, but also back to this point about cataclysm. In many of these key places, you will find necropolises and burial grounds where people have had their brains bashed out in hundreds and sometimes even thousands. Yeah, buried corpses near these ancient sites have been dug up where you know that something horrendous took place. Yeah, they found people with elongated skulls, all buried in mass graves, higgledy-piggledy. They found them near the Anastasia ruins in Santa Fe in New Mexico. In fact, they found graves of hundreds and hundreds of children. But they covered all this up, But if you know where to look, you'll find this out. The Smithsonian knows all about it. National Geographic. It has been published, but, it immediately gets smothered. And it never reaches the mainstream. Yeah. So look, how can you create those Nazca lines? You can't do it unless you're, you have visibility from the air.
Yeah.
And on and on and on. People know what I'm talking about. They've seen it on Ancient Aliens.
Same old.
And we know about these crystal skulls, and we know about a lot of these things. So this was another after effect. We did have alien intervention in those days, but they stopped coming. And if they still had to come here for other reasons, like mining, they sure did, but they stayed the hell away from us. And that's why you get sightings, all these sightings, but these beings don't want to be sighted. They come here for their own reason, and then they get the hell out. So that's what I'd say about that. So the occult, I believe, is an attempt to reconstitute a very ancient lore, which would be a well-meaning thing to try and do, of course. That means it's quite altogether kind of a healthy thing. But you see, the trouble is that the evil forces that caused this destruction and then caused the genetic manipulation, they're also fascinated with that age that I'm talking about, this pre-Adamite age. I mean, they caused it to be destroyed, but guess what? When they later on found out that it too was a high civilization, they're interested in dipping into the past. They're interested in resurrecting some of that knowledge too. So this is where you get the black arts. This is where you get some very unhealthy people themselves dabbling into necromancy and what have you, right? It's not just the good. It's not just those people who care about humanity that have been dipping into this great well of ancestral knowledge. It also occurred to the descendants of these evil ones that, hey, yeah, we better start looking into this as well. And they have. So that would be, I don't know if you have any questions about that phase that we've talked about.
Hello. If you've been enjoying this episode so far, I would be very grateful if you would consider subscribing to Vocation. By subscribing, you will really help me keep this journey going. Thank you for your time. And back to the show. I have about 100 different questions on that topic, so I think we're going to have a lot to sort of spin off. I thought maybe there's maybe new people coming into this as well also that are a bit unfamiliar with the occult, so I thought maybe we'll take a step back for a moment, do a macro review of what the occult is, and then I guess we'll narrow down to all these different topics like alien visitation and past knowledge and things which will come along. So I'll put a couple of wee slides together, if that's all right, to maybe frame it a bit more, and yeah, we'll dive deeper into this topic if that sounds cool, Michael.
Yeah, why not?
So yeah, let me call up a couple of the little slides and we'll take it from there. So again, we were looking at your main article here about Aleister Crowley and the Aeon of Horus, and so just to set us off here, when we speak about the occult refers to the study and practice of hidden, secret or esoteric knowledge, focused on the supernatural or mystical phenomena that fall outside mainstream science and organized religion. Originating from the Latin occultus, meaning hidden, it covers traditions like alchemy and astrology, and all these things that you've sort of went into great detail about already. One of the entry books I find very helpful for coming into this was the work by Colin Wilson, probably one of our favorite authors here that we mentioned a few times. And his book, The Occult, comes at it from a very sort of rational, humanistic kind of term. There's not a lot of like woo-woo thrown in there from the start, but it really helps to frame it from people here maybe a little bit more. Now, a part of the occult is naturally these mystery schools. So we understand that knowledge is power, and therefore the most powerful knowledge would likely be the most hidden. Knowledge was often passed down through master and student or adepts to initiates. And certain groups would naturally harbour certain knowledge, and they would pay a high price in order for this initiation to occur, to get their hands on this kind of knowledge then, to keep outsiders away. Also, naturally, in this field, claims upon knowledge of the mysteries of the universe can be full of the most ridiculous assertions. It can be full of charlatans as well also. However, it may be true to say that there are greater or lesser degrees of understanding of these great mysteries. And I really appreciate how you've sort of framed things so far about what some of these great mysteries might be. It's harkened back to a time before the last great calamity happened there about 13,000 years ago. But maybe even just to pause here for a moment, with a lot to go into. Have you any thoughts on some of the most famous occult societies that there have been, or maybe what their initiation processes were like as well also, Michael?
Well, yeah, the thing of initiation is very, very key to this. And in the forming of certain societies, when they suddenly realized how immense this work was going to be, individuals realized that all the work that they might do in life to reassemble this ancient gnosis isn't going to be enough. So eventually it was decided, by all parties, even the negative side realized this. This is why they put together their collegiates. I talk about John Dee in my work, the Elizabethan magician who was employed by royalty, on the dark side. But even on the positive side, it was realized that, look, it's impossible for a single human being to do the work. So we have to put together these schools and these traditions. And then the next problem was, of course, how do you tell who's pure, who is eligible for this knowledge? You have to have the master-teacher scenario going on, which a lot of people would find already problematic. But I can see, of course, that when you're dedicated to this knowledge, there's going to be a mastership involved, and then there's going to be getting old. Who do we pass this on to, and how do we do it? The Druids are allegedly never wrote anything down. But even if they did, it's still going to be who is going to inherit this knowledge. So then they structured their organization into 3 to 4 parts. The High Druid at the top, the Druidic Order itself, the Bards, who had their specific roles, and then below that, the Ovates. Used to be the Vates, the Vates. It's where the word Vatican comes from. And below that, you maybe had the sort of the minstrels, who would interact more with the people and sort of translate the lore of the higher echelons down into language that the ordinary illiterate person could understand. The minstrels played a very big role in those days, to translate into story form, into metaphor, into allegory. But again, the whole thing was initiation. If the minstrel found that some young people in the villages took more to his stories, became obsessed, you could see that they were really moved by it, he might recommend them, up the ladder a bit. Pick a particular child that showed a certain fascination to what was being told and had a particular skill. That kid would then, be maybe chosen for initiation. So I can see it working. Because obviously, if you're dealing with the kind of retarded types that I've just mentioned in the post-Adamic world, doesn't it make sense? You can't just deliver this information out. I've just made the point that the post-Adamic humanity was a very, very sorry, devolved situation. Yeah, and higher-ups didn't want people to get their dirty hands on it. Even in the Bible it says, don't cast your pearls before swine. So I see a lot of sense in doing that. It's not that also can't be manipulated, and turned for bad purposes. But on the whole, I can see this meritocracy coming in that might indeed be a very valuable thing to impose upon people. Yeah.
Can you think of the top of your head any crazy stories of trying to be an initiate? So you go fight in the wilderness for 7 days, or go do some sort of death-defying feat, or was it just you speak, we'll kill you? That's sort of the way these things work. Yeah.
Well, this is where we come back to Ireland, because the most difficult trials of any group is not the Native American Indians or East Indians. It was Irish. Even in quite a latter day, even in almost moving into the Gaelic period, the trials that a neophyte, an adept, had to go through were absolutely frightening, absolutely horrendous. Yeah, when you get down into the weeds of that, you had to be immensely eligible and skilled, and they had very elaborate initiatory rites to make sure that only the purest. Yeah. It's something that really is remarkable. I think that some of the Arthurian legends sort of hint a little bit at that, But you'd have to get deeply into the Irish mythology to tease that out more.
Yeah, I'll try to find a few examples for people for our next chat, maybe as a follow-up, just as an interesting side bit. But yeah, I'll maybe carry on with a bit more of these slides. So when we were speaking about, what kind of knowledge is hidden away, one of the common ones that comes up is this Kabbalah, this tree of life. And so we spoke about this a little bit before, but I thought it was worth going over once again. And so the Kabbalah is an ancient, esoteric, and mystical branch of Judaism focused on understanding the essence of God, the origin of the universe, and the soul's purpose. The Hebrew word literally means receiving, or tradition, referring to knowledge received through a chain of transmission. It is often described as the soul of the Torah and provides mystical interpretations of the text, featuring the Sephiro, or divine emanations as they're known, to explain how the infinite relates to the finite. Have you any comments there, maybe just as an overview first off of what the Kabbalah is, this tree of life? I think you mentioned it's related to the Druids once before. And then maybe even if you want to speak a little bit about what it contains of these Sephiro and things, or maybe that's worthwhile leaving to a separate chat to go into those deeper details of that sounds.
Yeah, it's a very immense subject. I've written 2 volumes on it called The Trees of Life. And this is where you'll find the best extrapolation of tree symbolism that has ever been written. Even if I say that myself, I really highly recommend those books. See, the Kabbalah is not Jewish. It was tacked on to Judaism because Judaism, just like Islam and Christianity, is basically a pastiche of older pagan lore. And so you find the word Kabbalah itself comes from the goddess named Kebel or Sibel. And it's all part of a goddess tradition, which again is, quasi-Druidic, quasi to do with the pharmacopoeia and with tree symbolism. Because in Egypt, the goddess and the tree were inseparable as symbols. I show this in my book, 2 volumes, right? But it was the same in other countries as well. In Turkey, the great Aryan tradition there, there's another iteration of this, and the goddess of the garden was called, of all things, Aoife. Just like Eve.
Aoife.
Yes, and there was a guardian serpent. Then in the Greeks, we have the Garden of Hesperides, sacred tree with sacred fruit and a guardian serpent. In the Norse myths, you've got Yggdrasil, the sacred tree, and you've got the guardian Midgard serpent. And in Ireland and in Mexico, you've got it all over the place. There's nothing Christian about it, and there's nothing Jewish about it. Now, the good thing about the Jews is that they just preserved it. It would have been probably lost to us, like so many things were burned, so many libraries, so many archives. But this part somehow got preserved. And sometime in the much later period, 15th century or whatever, AD, some Jewish scholars dug it up, didn't know what they'd got, and so started their own ruminations on it, which are usually superficial and just completely confusing, just like the Talmud itself. So the Kabbalah has nothing to do with the Torah or any Jewish traditions. That was an attempt to put, squares into round holes. It doesn't fit. They know it doesn't fit, but they don't want to lose the reputation that is theirs, for obvious reasons, right? It's not theirs. And a deeper dive shows you that it has nothing to do with these. It's just a hopeless mess. But because it was a tree, and originally it was a tree of 7 branches, clearly this then goes back to the older cults. And I write about those in those 2 volumes, and it goes very, very deep. This is the old Aryan teachings. Now also, you see, the word Jew itself is misleading. In the mystery tradition, in the mystery rites, the word Jew turns up as a stage of initiation. It wasn't a religious caste. It was the state of a Magi. As he rose up through the ranks, it was a degree. When you reached a certain degree, you were known as a Jew. And it is a derivative, cognate of the word you, from yew tree.
Yes.
And from it, and the god associated with the yew tree was Iyua, or becomes Yahweh. Yeah,
fascinating.
It's hard to pronounce in English, but it's IHUH, and various variations like that. But because it was hard to pronounce, then it got transliterated down through time.
Very good.
Into Yahweh.
I like it.
And Yahovah. But this was a tree god. Yeah, and those who were worshiping the tree god were known as the Judites. And also the Levites. Levite also comes from another tree. This time it's the worshippers of the Rowan tree. I go into this all in Irish Origins of Civilization. So a Levite goes back to a word Luvian, but also to Lewi, L-E-W-I, which was another name of the caste of a particular branch of the Druid order. Yeah. And so words like Louis, Louis, Lourdes, place name, and Lewisham, place name. It's very, very important. The Isle of Lewis up in Scotland. And this gave rise to a tribe called the Luvians, who moved into Babylon at a very earlier period, and later on are known to the Jews as the Levites, because we know that the Jews spent time in Babylon in the so-called exile. They did. Yeah. And they adopted the teachings of the priesthoods that they found there. And the word Levi, which is high priest in Israel, actually comes from this old Western Aryan tradition of the Levi, the worshippers of the Rowan tree. So this is why they picked up the Kabbalah. It's not theirs, but it's an old relic showing you where these Jews come from. As it does, they leave footprints. There's no hiding it. The coat of many colors. Joseph's coat of many colors is an old reference to the high druid, Yosef. And when the Druids came over to Egypt, they wore a multicolored cloak. You see, so these are all footprints left in the text. And it's a good thing that they were, because those who then have the keys of decipherment can tell you all about it. But you have to go through it meticulously, so that's why I wrote those 2 volumes, to do that, so that there could be no error. People are just going to say, where are you pulling this out from? It's not true, because you have so many cynics and you have so many trolls, you see. But when you do the proper work that I've done, then it leaves no sane person in any doubt at all.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely do a deep dive into the Trees of Life and into those articles and books to further expand upon this, no doubt. There's a lot here to chat about. I'll maybe carry on with the next slide as well, too, when we're speaking about occultists and about famous occultists over time. I thought I would name a few people. This is not just some, random list of, nobodies that people would call occultists. This includes people like Isaac Newton. Carl Gustav Jung was obviously obsessed with the occult. That was a big part of his work. You have Paracelsus, which you mentioned earlier as well too. Cornelius Agrippa was another name that came up. John Dee was one we also mentioned. This was Queen Elizabeth's chief occultist as well too. Johannes Kepler from 1571 to 1630. He was a famous astronomer and mathematician who formulated the laws of planetary motion. Jack Parsons from 1914 to 1952. He was a famous rocket scientist, co-founder of NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, and inventor of solid rocket fuel. He was a devoted follower also of Aleister Crowley, who was a high-ranking Thelemite who performed ceremonial magical rituals and identified strongly with occult practices. And maybe a final name I'll mention here is Wolfgang Pauli from 1900 to 1958. He was a Nobel Prize-winning physicist, pivotal in quantum mechanics and the exclusion principle. He collaborated extensively with Jung on synchronicity, archetypes, numerology, and alchemical symbolism to understand deeper cosmic patterns. And so one of the names that jumped out there when you speak about occultists was this Aleister Crowley, which is one of the names in your article you mentioned. So I thought I'd give a little bit of a background to him. Then
There's so much stuff about Aleister Crowley. Some say he was the devil, the beast, the great beast. Some say he was a wannabe, and he ended up dying in poverty, and he was just a fucking header. Then people like Michael will put a different aspect on this.
Pass it over to you, Michael. And so Aleister Crowley, born October 12th, 1875, and lived to the 1st of December, 1947. And this is a quote. This is from the beginning of your article. We'll leave a link down below for people to check out. And the quote reads, "I have been accused of being a black magician. No more foolish statement was ever made about me. I despise the thing to such an extent that I can hardly believe in the existence of people so debased and idiotic as to practice it." And he wrote that in 1933. So Crowley's life, Edward Alexander Aleister Crowley was his full name, and he was born under the sign of Libra, as we spoke about, which is also the same year that the Theosophical Society was founded.
With Mum and Dad.
He was born to a family of fundamentalist Plymouth Brethren. He attended Cambridge University and read his first occult tract, The Cloud Upon the Sanctuary, by Karl von Eckarthausen, at age 22. On November 18th, 1898, he was initiated into the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, an occult fraternity founded in England by Dr. Wynne Westcott William Robert Woodman, and Samuel Liddell, also known as MacGregor Mathers. I've heard of this Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Have you any comment on them, Michael, and about their importance of the last century?
Yes, it was
They
quite
tried
great.
to keep him out of
MacGregor
the
Mathers
Golden
is the
Dawn,
one who
apparently.
stands out. He was the true occultist. I don't think much of the others.
Have you any comment on them, Michael, and about their importance of the last century?
Yes, it was quite great. MacGregor Mathers is the one who stands out. He was the true occultist. I don't think much of the others too much, but he certainly was a particularly brilliant man. And he is the composer of what is known as Book T, and the T stands for tarot.
Oh.
So he was a genius in his own right who helped organize the tarot cards. It's not that he got everything bang on, but he got things so right that basically it, and this was in the 1900s, early 20th century. So before that, the tarot was in a complete state of mess. Nobody knew what it was. The order of the tarot was wrong. The planetary assignments, all these different occult correspondences were just a pickle. Even when they were right only because of arbitrary, it's like a potluck. You got that right, but you don't really know why you got it right. So MacGregor Mathers used some, rationality. His researches were for planetary assignments. All these different occult correspondences were just a pickle. Even when they were right only because of arbitrary, it's like a potluck. You got that right, but you don't really know why you got it right. So MacGregor Mathers used some.
Oh no! Oh dear. So you were going to reach out to your dad as well, weren't you? That sounds like it might be a bit more tricky now, mate. Same here, bruv. I fucking can't stand when people fucking. Well, I just can't be arsed with fucking the bullshit, the fucking nonsense, and how people take sides over fucking stupid things, especially when they've been involved in stuff we've all done together and seen what's been going on, and they follow some absolute fucking knob stretch dickhead who hasn't got a fucking clue about anything but professes that they're enlightened and the fucking a master of the fucking arts, and I saw them saying that they're just a chilled out person. I thought, fuck me, nothing chilled out about that person. And they bully disabled people and all sorts of shit. Actually, what the so-called fucking spiritual fucking movement is just a load of fucking bullshit for cunts that just want to mask their fucking narcissistic, nasty fucking behaviors. Yes, mate. Yes, brother. And I fucking salute you for standing true to that, same as that. Yes, mate. They're just fucking stupid. And because what it does is you being right absolutely crushes their fucking reality. And it shows that they are just fucking dumb, ignorant, like you say, arrogant. And basically, you being right is a fucking big fucking no-no for them. They will absolutely hate it. Same as me, I get fucking projected all this shit. Even my so-called best mates, they have just literally, for the last God knows how many years, just been putting me up to look like a fucking idiot on purpose. And I'm glad to say, I didn't ever look like an idiot, but any time that I would be getting to a point where I'm fucking actually showing that I'm fucking, something good going on, they turn the fucking screws, stick the knife in, And I realised that. So now I'm not interested in all the fucking bullshit people like on fucking Yogi's channel. I love Yogi, don't get me wrong, but I can't be fucked with them people. There's only a very few people I'm interested in, and that because they are fucking like us, aware and fucking have the foresight, the eyes, the ears to see, and the eyes to hear, and put together, they can see everything. No, exactly, mate. That's why I said I just thought to myself, I can't be fucking arsed with people, you know, fucking ganging up on people, bullying disabled people that have got literally their life is such a misery, and then they still can't have them people just be happy because they need to be in charge, and they're fucking disgusting fucking filth. And you know what? I'm glad that the truth comes out. You see what people are all about. All this fucking nonsense, all this fucking namaste bullshit. They're actually very nasty fucking dark fuckers. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm not interested. Don't want nothing to do with any of them. Because what happens is they all get dragged down in their fucking bullshit, and their blessings get blocked because they're fucking supporting fucking dark fucking entities that are so fucking wrapped up in their own bullshit, and they are literally, they emanate fucking dark nastiness, mate. I am glad. I'd rather just have you or Squirrel or Bumblebee Tea or real people than fucking hundreds and hundreds of 50 likes and all that sort of shit, because it's bullshit, mate. I can't stand it. And that's why I'm sat here in the dark.
You know, rationality.
Oh, it's not.
His researches were for decades into the subject.
And that's why I like
listening
to
this
stuff
is where
like
I think
because
personally
you need to hear different
discovery.
sides
now, when
of things
Aleister
to make
Crowley
your own
joined
mind
the
up.
Order of the
Because someone
Golden
like
Dawn,
him spent his whole
he
life
read
learning,
Book T and
you know,
fell in love.
and going through and uncovering and cross-referencing and double cross-referencing and checking, double checking, triple checking. Whereas most people would be like, oh no, because they just want to see the Wikipedia fucking answer.
With the tarot.
Fuck them people.
And so both of these men, to me, this is where they really excel. You couldn't make sense of the tarot without this book T. And Aleister Crowley then being fascinated with the book and also progressing up through these stages of initiation very quickly. He was brilliant. He then started working on his own tarot, the Thoth deck, for his own occult order, Ordo Templi Orientis, OTO, which already had been going, by the way, but he became the head of it. He didn't invent it. It was already an order that existed in Europe, and he was initiated into it, and it carries on to this day. But the Order of the Golden Dawn was very special, and I hone in for this reason. So they have some very interesting things, but this updating of the tarot,
I know it would be, mate. Don't
was
worry.
the most essential.
I know
So when
the
you're
real
reading
ones,
their
mate.
works,
I've been friends with Squirrel for fucking
really
years now,
this,
and
tarot,
I talk to him regularly offline. Do you know what I mean?
The whole thing.
You know, like, yes, mate. I know. Thank you. I appreciate that. You know, I don't need to know the ins and outs. I can imagine because I have the fucking sense of personal fucking self, so I can stand up for myself. And you know, if they want to carry on talking about me, that's fine. But you know, he who lasts longest. That is a very fucking good saying. And I've got nothing to fucking prove to anyone. I do not slag people off. I just, when somebody is fucking proves themselves to be their true self comes out, and they try and attack me because I said something that burst their fucking pathetic bubble, and then all people want to fucking follow them. Well, that's absolutely fine, because I don't need any of those people, because in the long run, I have the fucking sense of presence But someone like Squirrel, who knows me properly, not like all this fucking family, it's all bullshit. It all comes out in the wash, isn't it? And thank you, Cole, because, well, I know you're a real person, and I appreciate it. Yeah, Squirrel sound, mate. Me and Snow, but we talk a lot, and he knows, and I totally respect that, man. You know, he's the one that I'd always go to. If I'm unsure about something, I'll ask him, because I know I'll get a fucking decent, honest answer. And you know, that's why he's that's why he's moderator for a lot of people. Because he's got a pure heart, a solid heart, like me. I don't need all that fucking bullshit, bigging me up, fam. Because what actually happens, the fucking real ones shine through. I don't do nothing wrong. I don't cause no harm to anyone. I don't try and fucking. But when people start bullying fucking disabled people who are stuck in hospital and they're like stuck being bound to a fucking wheelchair because they can't fucking do anything, when they bully people like that, whose whole life is just trying to enjoy their life and have a good, just be happy, when they've got the worst fucking, being dealt the worst cards, and these fucking spiteful, violent, nasty vipers bully them, then fuck that. I'm not fucking standing for it. I'll pipe up and I'll say about it. You know? And I'm not getting caught in a fucking crossfire things, because the truth always comes out. When people, it always comes out. In the long run, you might have to wait a fucking months, even years. They always fucking prove themselves to be fucking nasty, fucking malicious vipers. And I have my own fucking self fucking respect. That if I know somebody literally bullying someone who's got such a shit standard of life, when this other person is jumping around fucking giving it all the fucking namaste and writing bullshit, when they're the thickest cunt I've ever heard of. Yes, exactly. I wasn't saying anything to try and fucking diss someone or fucking put anyone down. The other day when I was having my live stream, I'm just passing on the knowledge I've learned, and I've spent, as I will say over and over again, for at least the last 10 years, but it's not the last 10 years, it's been my whole fucking life learning about history, learning. But for the last 10 years, well, since before 2012, actually, if I'm honest, which is what? Say 15 years, I have spent at least an hour a day, and bare minimum, usually hours and hours learning, and having the fucking discernment and the intelligence to be able to put things together. I'm not just listening to one person because I've met them and my whole life be surrounded by their fucking bullshit, especially when they're multi-millionaires from it all. You know, when that happens, you have a level of fucking, like, what's the word? You know, when people are making fucking millions of pounds out of this sort of fucking channeling bullshit, there's a level of fucking, like, not goodness, do you know what I mean? It's not all fucking love and light. There's an agenda.
You know, takes another leap, and is particularly distinguished, I think. Not too many scholars can acknowledge this.
So that's
That's
out,
because
mate.
they haven't studied the tarot and they don't know what.
See what I mean? I'd rather 5 decent people with hundreds of thousands or whatever fucking nonsense. You know? And in all honesty, I don't know even where it come from, because I had the nerve to fucking question something. And, you know, I think anyone who actually believes in that fucking bullshit now, well, forget Atlantis and all that stuff, but I'm on about the fucking scandemic and the fucking COVID-19. Anyone who actually still that goes along with that, honestly. And the other thing is, the people that have had the fucking Jabberwocky, they fucking hate it because they know they fucked up and they can't fucking admit to fucking up. Not everyone, but quite a lot of them. And that's where this whole thing arises from. Because they're fucking enlightened and part of the fucking, upper echelon of the fucking spiritual people, to have had that done and basically become not human, it's a massive slap in the face and they can't fucking stand it.
Just how banjaxed it was before that, to really marvel and really...
And thank you, Cole.
There is a book
I appreciate you, brother.
Called The Western Mysteries by David Allen Holtz. The Western Mysteries. And that will walk people through what I'm talking about. So it's a very good resource to help people who are new to this. Because if you start studying the tarot, you're probably going to be studying tarots that are just also nonsense. They work only because they're artistic creations, but they don't have any particular...
And in fact, when it comes to ancient history and stuff like that, and my beliefs about... And that's the other thing, like, they were all going, no, it's not all about Britain, it's not all about Britain. And I was like, no, it's not all about Britain, but as far back as we can go on modern, at the most recent level of civilization, Britain's got the oldest stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, America could have as old stuff, but what we've got as like literal something as a guideline, it comes out of Britain and Brittany and France, way before Egypt, way before Mesopotamia and all those places. But as I said, Lemuria is older than Atlantis. And then before that, it come from a great above. But people, I think they would try. I think then the whole race card gets chucked into things. And honestly, when that happens, I just think, oh my god, do you know what I mean? I am the least fucking. I do not take sides or nothing like that. But it will always get chucked into the mix. You know what I mean? Because I'm white. And anyone who's not white doesn't like white people. Do you know what I mean? It's all over the internet constantly. I hate white people. I hate white people. Now, if I was to say that on the other way around, I'd be fucking shut down in flames. I'm not saying anyone I know has been saying that, but that's the way it works out. You can't do nothing. And then it'll always turn to that, and I just think, oh, what, fuck it, It's like in my mind, I just rather not bother with any of them, because in the end, as per usual, it will turn out that I'm right, and I'm not being fucking getting on my high horse to blow my own trumpet, but it always happens that way. And if I am wrong, and I'd love it if I was wrong, I'll be the first to admit, oh, I'm fucking completely wrong, and you were right, and I'm sorry about that. So I do apologise. I fucked up. But when the shoe's on the other foot, it fucking went no. They can't have it. It just fascinates me. This world of the internet is just like, you meet on all the different platforms. There'll always be a few good people you meet, and then some fucking little cunt will come in and they'll get their fucking nose put out of joint because you fucking figure them out and you fuck them off. Then they will be hell bent on trying to destroy you. Well, you know what? Carry on. Give it a good fucking go, because ultimately, in the long run, I'll be all right, and it'll make no difference to me. They'll just end up bitter and twisted and shriveled up in their own little dark demonic mess. If you know what I mean.
Deep esoteric meaning.
Don't you like?
When I'm talking about MacGregor Mathers and what he did was that he reconstituted the esoteric meanings of the tarot. How many cards there should be, what order they should.
And it just goes to prove that no matter how much synchronicity or how connected you might feel like you are with someone, they will always go with the clout. They will always go with the clout because it will boost their fucking ratings. It will boost their fucking subscribers. It will boost their, and it'll get to a point where they might make some money out of YouTube. Well, believe me, you won't make anywhere near as much money as you would do if you stuck to the truth and honest path of fucking decent stuff, especially when you have this so-called fucking connection, which it just proves people just fucking blow smoke up their own arse and they go after the clout. And you know what? I'm fucking glad. I would much rather have the real ones than the clout fucking hungry fucking wannabes. Because basically all them people that have got the hump with me because I had the fucking nerve to stand up against a fucking nasty little fucking horrible little bully. They've gone after the clout. Well, you wait and see. In the long run, it will be shown for that person is a fucking horrible little cunt, and they will be like, oh fuck, I've fucking chose the wrong team.
There's quite a lot going on there.
You know? Better that it's happened like this, so I fucking see who I've got on my actual side. You know, like Squirrel, like yourself, like Bumblebee. I fucking hate the way that poor Bumblebee fucking being treated and bullied by that nasty little fucking shit cunt. You know, I was going to leave it, and I was going to be like, you know what, there's no point getting involved in some tit for tat bullshit until Bumblebee rang me up and said, oh, she's been at it again. She's been fucking bullying me with a few of the other ones, so I can't be part of fucking Yogi's thing. I think to myself, who the fuck does that? What sort of nasty little fucking person wants to see a person who isn't like their level of fucking life is so fucking sad that they've got no one. The system's fucked them over, and they can't even fend for themselves. And these people want to bully them, and try and make sure that their fucking nasty little fucking tentacles are wrapped around them, so they can't be involved because they've had the fucking nerve to fucking stand up against them. You know what? If you want to be friends with someone like that, then you're not a fucking decent person, and you're certainly not spiritual, and you're certainly not enlightened. If you want to fucking argue the toss about that fucking stupid thing that you're stuck on, because sooner or later they're going to be fucked anyway, because they're not even human anymore. They're transhuman. That's the first level of transhumanism, is having that jab. You know? Forget the fucking ascension. They've descended into darkness the moment they had that. And then when they stop fucking bullying a fucking disabled person that can't even stand up for themselves, and they've got no one looking after them and being let down left, right and centre by society and people, you know what? Ultimately,
that matters.
You will get your fucking just desserts.
Aleister Crowley followed in that tradition.
And I would rather...
And in some ways even improved it. Right, there's a couple of...
I'd rather have no friends and just be myself and fucking help people like my friend who's fucking been chucked such a fucking shit hand than be friends with anyone who wants to be fucking involved with that fucking nasty little shit cunt. And all these fucking spiritual people are not spiritual. They have no fucking level of fucking empathy or nothing, because all they want to do is follow the clout. You know what?
Things he did that I don't agree with.
They're not real people.
Those are kind of minor, and you can correct those.
And they can fucking
when you're working with his tarot.
Listen to whatever I say.
He even went a few steps further than McGregor Mathers.
But
especially when
you can't slag this off. If I'm standing up for someone who's got no one, fuck all, can't even stand up on their own 2 feet, and you're bullying them, who's the person in the right there? I think it speaks for itself.
It came to the court cards. So I have a mystery school in which I teach all of this, and we go into all of these positives and negatives. But the positives vastly outweigh the negatives. When it comes to this, because they brought it back to be a very accurate divination tool that can be used, in a proper way, not just some artistic deck, which is fine. I'm not against people doing that, but they shouldn't be passing that off necessarily as an esoteric deck. It's exoteric what they've created. But the Rider-Waite, it's now called the Rider-Waite because A.E. Waite was involved in the production of it. But the theories behind it were basically this book T. So when you joined the Golden Dawn, like A.E. Waite did, or like Aleister Crowley did, you would be exposed to this incredible volume. And then McGregor Method said, well, then, after you've read it, you can take it off on your own to do what you want. And that's exactly what happened. And we have these precious heirlooms. So this is how my interest in the occult, basically got started from that. Because when you really know your tarot, you are dealing with the Kabbalah as well. There's the right placement of the Hebrew letters. There's the right placement of numbers and other sigils, the symbolism of it, and so on, and then the interpretation of each individual card.
But that's enough about me. What are you going to do about your predicament? It's quite similar to mine, I think, but yours is obviously in and around you where you live, whereas mine's in and around the fucking world, the internet, as usual.
All of this needs to be done
and the other thing
in
is,
a sort of
I've done all this before. I've fucking done all this fucking nonsense battle, being ostracised, being fucking cast away from it all. And slowly but surely, every single time, the fucking nasty little fucking dark entities prove themselves. But people are so fucking egotistical and proud that they can't say, you know what, Phil, I'm really sorry you were fucking treated fucking badly and it wasn't your fault. I'm sorry for how we behaved. They'll never do it because they're too fucking proud and they're just bad fucking shitty people. So you know what? I'd rather them all fucking not ever speak to me again, and that's fucking absolutely fine with me.
Systematic and sane way. You don't get a lot of sanity, and so my work was to show how irrational all the other systems were, and I relied a lot on the Golden Dawn system. That was where I was coming in. My work on the tarot is basically an extension of that of McGregor Mathers and Aleister Crowley.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. We have a lot to go down in this topic with it. I'm sure we'll do future presentations off it as well. But just because you mentioned this Thoth deck, here's a photo of it for people. And again, this is also from your article as well too. The result of his education during his time with the Golden Dawn was his Thoth deck, as you mentioned. The cards were painted by Golden Dawn member and Freemason Lady Freda Harris. And my understanding of the Freemasons is that they study the Kabbalah quite a bit as well also. I went into a lot of work about Freemasonry with Ralph, where he speaks about, it sort of writes about this history of the United Monarch, which comes from the Old Testament as well too. But again, I'll leave a link for people to check out that episode. They can look that up. We've done that with Ralph a couple of times actually. But just to carry on with the article here, this is a quote about Lady Freda Harris, and this was written by Aleister Crowley actually. She devoted her genius to the work with inexhaustible patience, often painting the same card as many as 8 times.
Yeah.
May the passionate love under will, which she has stored in this treasury of truth and beauty, flow forth from the splendor and strength of her work to enlighten the world. May this tarot serve as a chart for the bold seamen of the new eon to guide them across the great sea of understanding to the city of the pyramids. And just one quick little note about the tarot for people who are maybe just not quite grasping it. I kind of see it as a way, as like a training manual or like a steroid for the right brain type of thinking in order to engage it, which is what the point of symbolism is a little bit to me. Do you have any comment on that, Michael, about sort of left brain, right brain, and maybe how the tarot sort of impacts upon an individual when they study it?
No, you got it right, 100%. That's its main usage is to stimulate the right brain thinking, which is more imaginative and intuitive. And the right brain is also a conduit to a deeper reservoir of ancient knowledge,
Yes.
which the left brain just does not have access to.
The NPC style.
That's just the way it is. And so this, we were talking there once also about ancestral memory. You see, so these symbols on the cards are recognized. They're much more ancient than people realize. And we have an instinctual understanding from this right brain point of view. That's why some people love it and others don't. It all depends on the person. And so we are deeply caught in the left brain. But the right brain is the one that deals with art and images and image recognition.
Pattern
So
recognition.
absolutely, you're 100% right there. And you know, it has many different levels, from just being good for meditation, for instance, but also, for astrological type divination. There's many applications that you can have for it. It was one of the keys. I actually believe it's the true Emerald Tablets of Hermes. When you hear people talking about the Book of Life, so-called Book of Life, or the Emerald Tablets of Hermes, I believe that the Emerald Tablets of Hermes is the tarot, by the way.
Yeah, that's so fascinating. And again, I think about right brain thinking for maybe new people coming into this. If you're not grasping these kind of divination arts logically and conceptually, it's because you're not fully meant to. It's meant to impress upon you, because consciousness is partly about feeling and about intuition. These are things we've spoken quite a bit about before, and so you should come into maybe some of this tarot work with that kind of framework as well too. See what it stimulates, and then that comes through, and that takes a certain kind of meditative mind. Maybe you can't be too busy and too distracted with life and go, oh, I'm just going to quickly pick up a card and expect, the mysteries of the universe to come to me. There's a ritual in place for these kind of things.
And that's the point. See, these things can be considered just children's games or fortune-telling nonsense. Even the playing deck. The ordinary playing deck contains many esoteric secrets. But the beauty of it is no one needs to know that. These things can be, chucked on the shelf for an age, and everybody running around not even understanding what it is. That's basically what was happening. Yeah, this is what mystery is all about. This is how it works. Yeah. How many people remember their dreams that they've had all through their lives? Very little. A dream is the most disposable of things. You dream all the time. So how many people really remember their dreams, really? Dream after dream comes and passes by. You see? So there's part of our mind that is censoring content. Now, the tarot cards are one of these things that helps to reduce this censoring, editing component of the left brain. It slows that process down, helps us become more attentive to what I call symbol literacy. And we need that very much because of what's happening in our society from more of the evil side, where anything you could really call mind control and behavior control is done by symbols. I've been saying that from the beginning of my career in this movement. So the man without symbol literacy, he is utterly, I don't care how many PhDs he's got or what he thinks of himself or how intelligent in other ways he thinks he is. He's completely a sheep under control. He's totally indoctrinated.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and that maybe brings me on to the next little bit, which is, the perception, or the reception more like, that Aleister Crowley got at his age and his time. And again, this is a quote from your article, Michael. Although he was born in the late Victorian age, there was little that was old world about the bohemian gentleman, perpetually slandered as mad, bad, and dangerous to know. As unofficial biographers are only too keen to remind us, Victorian society considered Crowley something of an enfant terrible. Alas, due to disinformation disseminated by gutter journalists, we found Crowley's name indexed not with the enlighteners and geniuses, but with the scoundrels and sociopaths. to read the many vitriolic diatribes against him and labels he was given, such as Antichrist, King of Depravity, Cannibal at Large, Wickedest Man Alive, the Great Beast, etc., one may be excused for thinking him related to Vlad the Impaler or Jack the Ripper. He has been labelled everything from England's most perfidious seducer to the devil's own high priest. And so it sort of speaks a little bit about the kind of reception that the cult gets or the tarot gets or what other people might react to whenever you speak about these kind of things. Because again, they're just too left brain. They go, oh, you know, that's something evil that you're dabbling in. They just don't quite understand it, or they've just been told from another source that anything related to this is the devil's work. What sort of reactions have you had, Michael, when you speak about these subjects to people? And have you anything to sort of just comment on that generally with it?
Well, what I've had, you mean?
What you've had, and maybe just sort of the overall framework of like what people come into these kind of topics like and their reactions with it. Just anything that you can think of there.
Yeah, not good. I fell in the gap because this is often associated with sort of a New Agey type of practice, but I'm not New Age. So I was never accepted by the New Age. Not that I'm needing to be, right? I didn't want. The last thing I wanted was to be accepted by them. But when it came to being accepted, you know, where you would be able to talk and have a practice, this was made difficult because I've been making criticism against the New Age movement since I started in California. So this doesn't help you in your career. So I was basically hinterlanded because of that. Since almost everyone that I knew was 100% into the New Age movement, and should you say a word against it, especially as vehemently as I did, this would cost you, sorely. But what it did was it just forced me online. I stopped talking about it in public, and I put together my website, the Taroscopes Mystery School, to reach a global audience where you would be able to reach people who aren't so indoctrinated as you would get in somewhere like California, you know. So in many ways, I'm glad. But the gap was also there because I wasn't accepted by Christians. Being into the conspiracy movement, about 80%, or maybe even more, in the days when I was into it in America, the greatest conspiracy theorists happened to be Christian. I'm not against it. I learned, do you know how much I've learned from these people? Enormous. But because I wasn't Christian, some of these people, not all, but a great deal of their followers would come and check out my work knowing that I'm also into conspiracy, but the moment that they would see that I'm also into astrology and tarot, they would drop me too. So I was a man without a home. I didn't ask for any of this, but I was rejected on both sides. So yeah, it cost me enormously because I couldn't find a home. Almost every other person you know in this movement, you know, they were able to be ingratiated. But the Christians who had a knee-jerk reaction, the moment that they saw me being into astrology and tarot, or sometimes questioning the Bible, which I've done in some of my DVDs, you know, they were very close-minded. And so I lost all that audience to this day, to this very day. And then I lost the New Age movement because of my honest remarks about them. And this also came from being an insider, because through the 70s and 80s, I was family members, were part of the New Age, and I had to tag along. I see. And so I saw something, almost all of it I didn't like personally. And so when I got free and independent of my family, I would, kind of bash it. Because I never saw anything that was recommendable. So, yeah, this cost me. I didn't realize the power that these groups had. So then, somewhere in around about 2000 and...
one or two people, I'd say.
I was attacked online by
a whole new
Christian right-wing
family of fucking haters.
I don't even like to use that term. They were just fanatics, fundamentalist Christians. Started to hone in on me because of the things I've just said. And, ruthlessly and relentlessly tried to take me down. And that went on for years and years and years. So, yeah, they came under a lot of attack, a lot of censorship.
That's crazy. And I've heard similar stories from Ralph as well too. Obviously, going into his work about questioning the Bible, like, you know, he's thrown that all upside down, hasn't he? And yeah, very much so.
Well, then they saw that I had this article, and they saw that I had a couple of other anti-Christian articles, and they don't like that. They don't allow that. You know, they think, hey, you're in our territory, which I'm not, and we have the right to then come in and just to destroy your career, destroy your life, which is what they really tried to do. And I'm telling them, you know, the little bit of contact I had, I would say, hey, aren't you meant to be Christians? Don't you forgive?
Yeah.
If you don't like something, just go ahead and forgive me then and move on. No,
turn the other cheek.
Yeah, well, this is not the way it really works.
Nice people.
You know, so
Are the ones who are so-called.
But I was able to withstand it and just carry on, and keep doing what I'm doing. Thankfully, you know.
Do you almost see it as like a rite of passage, you know, in this kind of work, that you're just going to get attacked from all sides, and, you know, maybe that's just part of, you know, the plan to sharpen your blade, you know? This is what you're meant to go through, one of these trials of initiation, really.
Right.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Yeah, of course it does. Instead of giving up, you have to decide whether to just give up, you know, carry on. You can... it makes you realize just how many fools there are in the world, though. You know, look at the hits on a video of something to do with, say, flat Earth, just to give an example. You know, millions, hundreds of thousands of comments on something so utterly preposterous, and yet these sites were super viral. You know, if you compare that with what Ralph gets or what I get. I've been shadow banned, you know, half a dozen times, deplatformed. So the world wants this, and so there's lots of people out there, but they're all into just absolute nonsense. So yeah, this is one of the most disheartening things, you know. So you have to be very much resolved to carry on, regardless, which I've done.
Yeah, no, it's inspiring. Absolutely. And again, it's one of those things I like about your work. You're more than happy to criticize both sides. You know, you go where the truth leads. It's not which side that makes them happy. You know what I mean? And it's part of this Siddhartha path, isn't it?
Yeah, and I just don't belong. I don't belong. If I had joined the New Age movement and mouthed a lot of the stuff that they like, I'd have been a multimillionaire today.
Yeah, like fucking Lee Carroll.
You know, sidled up to Christians, just mouthed a lot of their rhetoric, I would have been warmly accepted, and, you know, things would have been massively different. But to me, that was to be fake, to be a sham. So the world wants you to be a sham. It demands it. It's very, very difficult to be authentic in this movement and any other place as well. It's just not about conformity all the way down the line.
And that maybe brings us on a little bit about what the work of Aleister Crowley actually was. So again, this is a bit more quotations from your article. I'll read through a few of these and pass it back over to you. And so, Crowley emphasized that in any age, man's most pressing need is total freedom of thought, action, and belief. The term he employed to describe total emancipation was will, from the Greek thelema. He noted that in esoteric numerology, the Greek words for love and will have the same sum. For occultists, this means the words express the same principle. In a similar vein as...
That's because love is Phil and will sounds like Phil.
His predecessor, William Blake, Crowley proclaimed that freedom on all levels was attainable once we dispense with external authority. For Blake and Crowley, man's will is subverted early in life by authoritarian parents and peers. Minds and hearts are dominated by the will of mothers, fathers, relatives, school teachers, friends, priests, and politicians. The spirit within is also violated when we prostitute ourselves by overly relying on external guidance, asking each and every stranger for answers, direction, and support. For Crowley, Blake, and other true mystics, on our spiritual journey, the advice and experience of other people are relatively meaningless. In other words, men do not think with their own minds or feel with their own hearts. On the contrary, their consciousness is colonized. The process of consciousness control occurs gradually over generations and less gradually during the years of a single lifetime. The conditioned, acculturated man, more often than not, becomes an oppressor of those who fall under his power. Indeed, most humans accept the mind-forged manacles imposed on them, and many quickly move to impose them on others. what is often referred to as community and family, a man still more than enslavement to the will of others. And so there's a line that jumps out there at me, Michael. It's this one. On the contrary, their consciousness is colonized. And it almost just perfectly ties in with what we were just speaking about by joining these different groups. You can join this one colony, you can join that other colony, and maybe that helps you feel, to get away from yourself, to get away from your individuality, to get away from the voices, the will, to lose yourself in the crowd. Have you any thoughts on that, Michael, about this colonization of consciousness, or what we've been discussing?
Yeah, this is to understand Crowley specific.
Who's Ninja? What does that mean? Oh, yeah, there's always someone. There's always a little ghost in the machine. There's always someone. Because that's what I said. Before my this whole fucking malarkey on YouTube, I used to go on Kick. And I got in with a fucking horrible little bunch of people. But one person I love and I will always love, and I forgive them for whatever they've done and whatever, because they were led, and they allowed outside influences to hey, go that they've dropped off now. Outside influences to fucking tarnish their beliefs about me, which is fine. I've got words with that. But it's either one or two people, or potentially 3 or 4 or 5 now. Yeah. Well, there's always one person lurking about, but they won't fucking. I don't know what their fucking problem is. Why they can't just talk to me, because I don't cause no harm to anyone. I'm the nicest, sweetest, loveliest fucking fluffy old teddy bear. But if you purposely try and fucking go for me, and I'm going to stand up for myself, aren't I? It's a weird old world. But I'm glad you're still here, mate. Yeah. It's a strange old fucking thing. It's like, quite often there'll be one person, and they'll be there for the whole time or whatever I'm doing, and they won't say fuck all. And then someone like you will say something, and they'll be like, they'll go off in a puff of smoke.
As an individual, this is, of course, what he was chiefly against. It's in his chart, his own personal chart. You can see this very strongly. And I think that sort of also makes him so iconoclastic. He wasn't a joiner too. He fell out with the Order of the Golden Dawn. They had a big, lengthy court case, which is actually quite humorous in many ways. And he was a rebel in every sense of the word. But he was also an achiever, a sort of a genius type. And as such, he couldn't really be held, in just one sort of a framework. He had to go his own way. And for that, he's quite remarkable, you see. And he was a really 20th century man, but he was still in a sort of Victorian mentality.
You, mate.
The world around him was still...
I'm no harm to anyone, mate. I will help anyone. I will fucking give them my last fucking penny. I've got faults, I've got problems, but they're not. And I'm not trying to fucking leech off of people. I'm not trying to fucking dominate people or make people do anything. But one thing I won't fucking stand for is bullies, especially where bullying someone whose quality of life is so fucking shit. Poor fucker, you know what I mean? And they're blatantly fucking just being the most fucking nasty, vicious motherfuckers you can think of. Well, fuck them. I'll just keep going into fucking, chucking a fucking mix into things just to make people realise you can't fucking act like that, you know. You do whatever you want. Don't fucking bully the people who've got fuck all and can't stand up for themselves, because, you know, I'll fucking stand up for them. I'll quite happily lose all my friends knowing that I'm doing the right thing. Simple as that.
In an old world modality, and he was future thinking. So obviously there was going to be a clash.
Breaks my
Now,
heart.
I must say that Crowley also had a very, very dramatic side to him, and he did play up to this. He was not only a rebel, but he was he liked the drama. Yeah, he's responsible for a great deal of the diatribes against him, because he willfully and actively put himself out there. He'd have been perfect today in our world of celebrities and all of this muckraking, you know. He would have really loved our age, I think, more, because he went around and did things that purposely gained him notoriety. And when he realized he was getting it, he just made it even worse for himself, you know, playing it up. Yeah, and that's just, again, something in his chart. Doesn't mean he was a bad man or anything like that. He just had this flair for the dramatic, and he knew how to get their goat. He knew how to say and do things that would excite the masses. Yeah.
Which for me. And for people who want to dive a bit deeper into Colin Wilson, who we mentioned earlier, he actually wrote a biography of Aleister Crowley, and it's a really fascinating book for people who want to know a little bit more about the central.
It is difficult, mate, but I'll just take a step back, take a step out of it, and let the world pass by for a bit. You know, I haven't streamed for a little while. I mean, admittedly, I'm sat in the dark now, but it's fucking night time. It's 3:30 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? It's only to be expected at night. I didn't want to have the fucking lights on, and, you know, just, I got fucking awake enough by fucking these conversations and listening to this sort of stuff. I'd rather have the real sunshine, which will come up in a minute, and when it does, I won't be able to hide in the dark, will I? But, you know, it is what it is. I've got nothing to hide. In fact, I'm having a great week. I get my teeth on in 13 days' time. Oh, what's that? 13 days' time. I shall be able to sit there and smile, the cheesiest grin in the world. I mean, I don't care anyway. It doesn't bother me. And what makes me laugh is when people go, "Oh yeah, you should," just because they feel fucking what's the word? They feel ashamed because I'm fucking my teeth are fucked. You know what? If you didn't like the fact I've got the teeth, well, fuck off. It's just what it is.
Big side of him, because it's about as eccentric as you can get, really. So, but
yeah, that book is by Colin Wilson is one of the greatest books on the occult ever written. So I really hope that people will get it. I can recommend two other books by the author John Keel, Keel. He wrote a book that I refer to a lot in my work called The Haunted Planet, or Our Haunted Planet. And he wrote a second follow-up to that called The Eighth Tower. So Our Haunted Planet and The Eighth Tower, and Colin Wilson's occultism. Oh, sorry, The Occult.
The Occult.
You got it right.
1, 2, and he did a third book on Crowley as well. So yeah,
that's right, he did. Well, just those books there alone, those three books, are the finest books you'll ever read on the occult and the paranormal. And they definitely should be read, because if you ever come up against skeptics who just brush this off, those three books will be like Bibles to you, in the sense of they're manuals of. They're very much in the mode of Charles Fort, the writer Charles Fort. But
my problem is, I would fucking love to sit there and read all them books that he's read, but because of the way my brain works, I can't fucking. I start scanning, and then I don't take it all in properly. That's why I like listening to these sort of things or audio books. I used to be fucking brilliant at reading when I was younger, but as I got older, I can't fucking. My brain starts fucking going off on tangents. Whereas if I'm listening to it, I take it all in. It stays there. If I read it, sometimes I can. If I'm going on journeys or long distance stuff, where it's just fucking. Probably changed a lot now, really, with the other internet. But I can read, but I find it difficult to stick to it and take it all in because I start to scan. Yeah, exactly. A sucker punch they call that, don't they? Not a fucking, not a real fucking man. They have to fucking, they can't stand and fight toe to toe. They have to fucking sneak away. It's difficult, mate. And to be honest, my problem is as well. In England, it's totally different to America, where the whole thing's set up with like, it's with the insurance and stuff. It's like trying to get a dentist. It's impossible. Yeah, it's difficult. Where like I basically chipped tooth, and I swear because the way it's set up in England, the dentists don't want to really. They want the fucking private patients, like the insurance patients, like we have in America. And I'm really fucking lucky that I found the dentist that I have done because my dentist is the most lovely, sweetest lady. When I seen her on Thursday, I'd gone upstairs to the surgeon, and he'd done a digital scan of my whole fucking mouth and where it's all set up. When I went downstairs to make my appointment, I see my dentist, and she was so, hello, how are you? Are you okay? How is everything? She's an Indian lady, and she's the most sweetest, loveliest lady you could ever wish to meet. I was so glad I saw her because I was hoping to see her because she's like, I hate the dentist. I've got serious fucking phobia of the dentist, especially the injections. And she's been so fucking sweet to me, and she hasn't, where she's been able to, she's not given me injections. She's just done it sober and like checked with me, and I'm like, yeah, okay, and she's the nicest, fucking sweetest, loveliest person. I'm so glad I saw her. So when I go back on the 2nd, I'll see her, and I can't wait to see her because she's fucking lovely, sweetest, loveliest lady. But where I couldn't get a dentist for 2 fucking years, because my dentist couldn't. I didn't swear she just couldn't be fucked to do the fucking root canal surgery. Yeah, exactly. I couldn't believe that, mate. It's a fucking shitty fucking world, isn't it? So-called fucking law and order, protect and serve and all that. They only protect themselves and serve themselves. And if you don't fucking cut the fucking mustard, you're fucking not looked after. Well, what happened with me, my dentist couldn't. Exactly. I'm lucky. I'm really lucky that I found a dentist because I couldn't fucking, for 2 years I tried to get a dentist. My dentist, she couldn't be fucked to do the fucking root canal surgery. She's got to have her fucking teeth out. I said, hey, you're joking, I can't have my fucking front teeth out. What are you going on about? Then after that, because I couldn't get a dentist for 2 years, every fucking tooth that had a little fucking cavity or whatever, over the time it just got built up and built up and built up and built up till there's no strength in your teeth, and my teeth just snapped off. I am so fucking lucky I've not been in absolute abject fucking pain. I don't understand how I haven't been, to be honest. I am literally blessed because, I've had some serious fucking bad fucking toothache and earache. Oh, it's the worst pain in the world. And touch wood, I am so fucking lucky you know, and give it. I've got to have a wisdom tooth out on the consultation on the 12th, and then after the hospital to have it out. But then I'll have my plate before I have the tooth out. But I'm so lucky to have found that dentist because I'd still be in the same fucking boat now with no fucking, you know, in 6 months since I've gone to that dentist, and since my whole life went upside down, I tried to kill myself. I'd had enough. I just gave up, and now it's all coming around. It's all starting to get fucking to a place I've been trying to get to for ages. And I thought about it the other day. I thought, fucking hell, imagine if I killed myself. I wouldn't have seen any of this happen, you know. And another month's time, less than a month's time, I'll be able to have my teeth, and then within like 5 or 6 months, I should be diagnosed with my proper mental health conditions, and I can get proper help for it. But because it was all literally it was so different, and I'm so grateful. Yeah, I know. It's weird, isn't it? I don't understand either because literally I've been fucking waiting and sat there. In the back of my mind, I've been thinking, oh, in a minute it's gonna get fucking bad, and I don't know. It's fucking weird, isn't it? And you know, I don't know. I don't fucking understand it. I really don't understand it, but all I can say is that I am absolutely grateful, as grateful as I can be. When I first had my teeth out, it was lockdown and everything, so I had to wait ages and ages and ages and ages. And then when I finally got my plate, I never used to really wear them because basically when they first put them in there, they're a bit tight, and the dentist fucking fold them down a bit. Then they were really loose, and they used to fucking sneeze and they'd fall out and stuff. And I had to go to my brother's funeral. I'd left my fucking teeth at my mum's house, so this is how bad it was. I rode my bike to get my teeth, and I was like, whatever you do, don't wear your fucking teeth on the bike because they'll fucking come out. So obviously, as usual, I didn't fucking listen to my inner fucking guidance. Rode back, got to the tightest fucking bit. Fucking teeth come flying out on the road, so I had to stop. And where it is like the most dangerous fucking part of any of the roads around there. And there's this one little bit which is a really fucking nasty little fucking turn on top of a little fucking brow of a hill. I said that, and I watched this car drive over him, and I was like, oh no, because I was going to my brother's funeral, I was having to read a poem. I thought, I didn't fucking believe it. It's like it went in slow motion, and he just went, so and then I seen him on the floor, and I was so lucky. The 2 teeth and the tiniest little bit of plastic was left. I was able to fucking fix it and stick them in, and just for that fucking funeral, I wasn't embarrassed. But now, yes, mate, I know, and that's like the hardest lesson, isn't it? You know, if that's what you know, and I've ignored it for years and years and years and years, it will slap me in the face. But I mean, you know, it's only how can I say? It's only been like a fucking shame on me. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's only been like a reminder to listen. Anything seriously, properly, you know, I've had something step in and fucking help me out, or I've been lucky enough to listen and I have listened to it. Apart from that, it's just been like a fucking embarrassment or a shame on. Nothing really bad's happened. It's just another reminder to fucking listen. But I'm gonna get back to this because this is good.
They're a lot more accessible than his work to show you what the heck.
But also, it having problems with your teeth, it just goes to show. It brings out the truth in other people because they'll either look at you or they'll you can see they're sort of embarrassed to be around you or whatever. I think to myself, you know what? That's fine. If you're embarrassed because of my teeth, why do you give a fuck about my teeth? It's not hurting you. There's nothing to you. Or it's not because admittedly I've lived a life where every morning I brush my teeth religiously. Quite often at night I'll end up fucking passing out. So I do, But it's not even because of that. There's more than one reason for anything. Do you know what I mean? And all these things, it highlights what people are really like. Do you know what I mean? So many different lessons we've learned along the way. I'm glad for those lessons because the real ones are the real ones that'll stand with you through thick and thin. Whether you got fucking money, whether you're fucking short, whether you're fat, whether you got no fucking hair, whether you're an addict, whatever. Because in your heart, they know you're a fucking good person and they love you and you love them, and that's it. They're not trying to gain from you. They're not trying to fucking dim your light because it makes them because you shining makes them not look as good. Do you know what I mean? And people like that, they don't just got cutting people off, And if it means that you're fucking lonesome dove and you're a bit of a loner, then so fucking be it. Good on it, because it wheedles out the fucking bad eggs.
Hell has been going on this planet.
And there's some fucking bad eggs on this internet, as we all know.
They've never been bested. No TV show, no other writings have bested these 3 books. So, highly recommend those.
Yeah, they're brilliant. I was thinking of one other book, Science and Psychic Phenomena is another one for people to check out if you're coming across, a bit of pushback from people. That's a good start there too. I'll leave links to a few others down below. So yeah, just about Crowley then here. When you think about him being labelled as the most evil man alive, or the wickedest man living with it, or the great beast, and then you look a bit deeper into his work, and it turns out what he's speaking about is the will and about freedom. That seems so contrary to what the perception of the public is given. You'd imagine he's about the most evil things, but surely freedom is one of the best things that an individual could be sort of elevating. This is a divine quality of life, isn't it?
Yeah. I think he had an idea that controversy will bring him into the public eye, but he forgot that there's these journalists in the way. They're going to manipulate your profile. They're going to manipulate your public image, and he didn't manage it well enough. And also, just don't you see that they loved this? They loved the iconoclasm of the guy, and that he could be raked over the coals. And once it starts, you can't stop it. Nothing he could do. He wrote some beautiful books on poetry. Many of his works are very fine. He was a brilliant mathematician and even anticipated a lot of what the quantum physicists would discover later. But none of this mattered, you see. They had their whipping boy.
Yeah, and I'll maybe carry on with another couple of quotes from the article that speaks about his work further here. And so, again, this is from your article. Crowley believed that during the 20th century, men would finally get a real chance to cast off their chains and overthrow the corrupt institutions that impose their will on humanity. Like a caring father, he dedicated his time and energy to the creation of the manifestos of freedom to guide the new eon's unchained but unguided children. Of these works, the Thoth Tarot is a supreme accomplishment. This is especially so given that it employs images. The turning point in Crowley's life occurred in 1904. While he was in his 20s, he received, by way of his wife, channeled instructions concerning his role on the planet. After an initial series of visions, the Crowleys returned to their home in Aucheen, Scotland, where he entered into direct communion with the Praetor human intelligence. This incorporeal agency transmitted prophetic visions about the coming age in which humans struggle to free themselves from the psychological and spiritual change imposed by religions and political institutions of previous ages. As a result of his strange mystical experience and violent trance, Crowley penned the strange and infamous tome Liber al Bel Legis, or Book of the Law. Although it has been denounced and ridiculed, many regard the book as a sacred testament to the coming age. Even just to stop there for a little moment, have you any thoughts, Michael, on what this Book of the Law was, or maybe if you want to speak a little bit about Crowley's initial direct communing with his preterhuman intelligence? What are all these things about, Michael? Can you give us a bit of a framework for understanding of that?
Well, it happened to his wife when they were traveling. She started to channel this voice of an angel, so to speak, and he took it very seriously. So they went back to Scotland where he channeled this first book. And then he is the one who called it the Book of the Law. And it was a channeled work, and that this would be a manual for the coming age of Horus. He called it the Age of Horus because he believed in a Trinitarian flow of history. Up until about the early period AD, we have been living under a sort of a matriarchy. Call it the Aeon of Ice.
Yes, exactly what I said about Ashar-Nadine. Ashar-Nadine, although I think she's been compromised, to be fair, in the later years, she had so much fucking knowledge that she, like you said, she has to be the best liar, the best actor, and to be a good liar, you have to have a great memory, and you have to be able to keep the lie going, otherwise you get found out. And she never did. And I listened to fucking days worth of her work, but there are the multi-fucking millionaires. Like what Michael Tesorian says. Now, I was imagine Michael Tesorian's a fairly wealthy man because he's a prolific author and a fucking very intelligent guy, and he's done his own thing without having to. He's done his own internet stuff, But he's not a multi-millionaire. He's not. I'd say he's probably comfortable. But then you get these people that are like, oh, I think when people do it to order, I think that's when you've got to start asking yourself, oh, hang on a minute, if they're constantly channeling the same thing over and over and over and over again for years and years and years, I don't think I have to ask questions about that. But if something comes through, I mean, dreaming is channeling in some respects, isn't it? Some of them definitely are telling the truth. I don't know. It's the whole fucking thing. The whole fucking thing. It's like, that's what upsets me about this whole nonsense and nastiness, because there have been people that have been sat in my streams and I haven't fucking planned any of the synchronicities, and especially when fucking we sat there and Mary Moses, literally everything she said is written on my arm. Do you know what I mean? And then she said my pineal gland and all that stuff, and they were all involved, and they were all like, they were all involved. But and I haven't. There's no. I can't make that happen. Because that fucking video had gone out about 2 minutes before I started the live stream, because I started the live stream to listen to that. Do you know what I mean? So that I could listen to it live. So it's not like I've sat there and I fucking studied it and I fucking planned all these things. I can't plan that stuff to happen. It's not possible. I can't plan fucking people to pull tarot cards with certain people, literally certain people on them cards and their family and this their whole name and everything. All to happen. I can't do that. I've got no power. I've got no power over anyone else. I'm just sat here and it's happening. You don't get that in other people's fucking streams, but they still choose the clout. And that just saddens me because I thought we had a fucking real bond, and they've chose to ignore all of that and go with somebody who is so unfucking special. And that's the other thing. A lot of people come out of this fucking spiritual bullshit to make themselves seem special. I think I'm no more special than anyone else, but the synchronicities and all the things that happen to me. You know, I'm sure it happens to other people, but I've never seen or seen any of the live streams where stuff like that what goes on and my things happen. And I put it all down to because I fucking created my own tarot deck. I've put myself in it, and somehow my grandma is in the fucking tarot card, is in the strength card. Fuck knows how. I didn't plan any of this. You know, there are people that would like manipulate and calculate all these things to make themselves seem special. You know, I'd rather. I'm not interested in what anyone thinks I'm special or not. You know, but it speaks for itself. I can go back and I can all these things. You know, and these people will still choose the clout because I haven't got the clout, you know. But don't worry, I don't need the physical clout because I've got the fucking spiritual backup, you know. I'll always be all right because I don't do people harm. I'm not causing people shit, and I'm fucking standing up for the truth and for good. Do you know what I mean? Like almost like I'm not saying I'm Superman, but you know the whole truth, justice, and the American way. Oh, I'm not American, you know, but I certainly fucking I understand the whole scenario of the system, you know. Yeah, exactly. It's all fucking bullshit, you know. That person was spouting off, "Oh, I'm fucking enlightened," and vitriol and viciousness. And then and I just thought, oh, you know what, fuck this, because I thought I'd try and quell it and put some music on, and then they come back again. I thought, you know what, I can't be fucked with this. And then later on that night, I thought, you know what, I do look what I was doing earlier on. And I've done that for years. I play stuff while I'm fucking asleep so people can hear it because a lot of people aren't aware of the stuff I'm aware of because they haven't listened to work in the same circles and whatnot. A certain person come into my streams to try and talk while I was asleep. They were in there fucking saying, "You should leave this stream. He talks shit and all this, that, and the other." You know, well, I can't defend myself because I'm asleep. So when I try and stand up for myself, they take the side of the fucking nasty little fucking horrible person. I just think to myself, you know what? Fuck you. You know what? Family, true. You know, it's all bullshit. It's all a fucking massive fucking mask because they've got nothing about them whatsoever. They've got no fucking they've got no proper intuition. They've got no creativity. Literally, they've got nothing. They have to fucking jump on the back of other people, you know, and live this false. It's like it's the same as these people that are truly devout Christians or Muslim or all these Jewish or whatever they are. It's all a cover because actually they're pretty fucking bad people, you know. And it always shows up. It always comes out in the wash. You know, so that's why I'm not bothered by any of them. You know, I'd rather have 2 or 3 or 4, 5 good friends, nice people, you know, who stand up for me because I'll stand up for them than hundreds of fucking fake, pious, you know, devout fucking bullshit. It's just a big lie. The whole spiritual thing, the whole spiritual movement, New Age movement, the whole New Age movement's a lie. And all the people that fucking jump onto that bandwagon, you know. But like I say, it's good because it shows what these people are really like. Because you pull them up on something, exactly. You put them up on something, or you say something that goes against their fucking that whole fucking fake facade, and you'll see what comes out of people. They're fucking nasty, vicious, literally fucking, you know, the sort of people that fucking, like you say, will whack you with a fucking knuckle duster because you're not watching, you know, they'll jump on you, they'll stab you in the back. Those sorts of people. And you want to get in bed with them and make your nest with them people, oh dearie me, you got nothing but fucking shit coming to you. Nothing but shit coming to you. And block your blessings. True. And all I said was, well, I wouldn't go exactly on what Lee Carroll said because he was telling everyone to take the jab. Fuck me, wow, whoa. Tasmanian Devil losing the plot big time. They can't fucking handle it because you said something about someone that they know. I know Lee Carroll personally. Well, so fucking what? You know what I mean? Doesn't mean he's fucking telling the truth all the time or he's not got an agenda. The guy's a multi-fucking millionaire. Do you know what I mean? Oh, mate, okay, fuck. You know, I tolerate a lot of the shit. Well, I'm not going in Yogi's thing anymore. And there's nothing against Yogi because I know he's a really good guy, but I can't be fucked with the fucking fakeness, the bullshit, and the nastiness. Poor old Bumblebee, she's a fucking left, right, and centre. If you are a holy person, or if you are living fucking the path of the right and true, you're not a bully. You don't bully disabled people. You don't like try and make them have to like make their life a misery just because it makes you feel better because you are on the ultimate fucking power trip, you know? Exactly, mate. There's a lot to be said for fucking against yoga, against that whole thing, you know? There's a lot of fucking demonic entities involved in channeling, you know? There are some real truthful channel people, but there's also a lot of fucking badness involved with it all. You mention that, and you are the fucking you're the devil. You know what I mean? It's just basically it's the same religious claptrap dogma shit, and all that shit, mate. It's all the same, bro. And you know, I don't say anything bad about anyone. All I'll do is stand up for myself and stand up for those who need to be fucking helped. You know, anyone who bullies people, you know, or goes around fucking slandering, you know, gaslighting. Oh, that's one of the biggest things going. You know what I mean? And it all, like you say, it fucking filters out the wheat from the chaff. Is that right? That's what you're saying. The cream rises to the top and the shit fucking falls to the bottom. And that's what it does. And ultimately, it just takes a bit of time to sit on there, be patient, let it all fucking go. And before you know it, you give them enough rope and they'll be swinging. But it takes time and patience. You know? because ultimately they look fucking stupid when it comes out, when the truth comes out in the wash, and then people realise and they think, oh fucking hell, oh. But what you'll find with these people, the real ones will come back and say, you know what, I was absolutely wrong. I'm sorry that I was involved in the shit and the people that fucking be saying this, that, and ever about you. I apologise. I hope you don't mind. You know, and if you're a decent person, you'll say, yeah, it's cool. No worries. I understand. That's fair enough. But the amount of people who will actually have the fucking common courtesy and the grace to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I acted badly. You know, I'm sorry. You out of 100 people, you might get one or two. But those are the real ones, you know. People get swept up. People listen to people, especially when there's groups of them. There's always groups of them. There's never, because they can't work on their own because they've got no fucking initiative. They've got no brains. They need people to fucking, you know, just flying monkeys. They need people to do it because they've got nothing. They've got no, well, just got no brains, and they've got no like charisma. They've got no like actual connection with the living world. They're just like, and they group up on people and bully people. Hey Tony, what's up, brother? Hey Tony, I think you met Wassa? Tony Wassa. Good to see you, bro. The sun will be up in a minute and the light will be on my face. But in the meantime, I'm just chilling in the dark. No mind, no Buddha. Exactly. How are you, Tony? Exactly, mate. Bruv, I am safe. I love you too, mate. I am safe in the fucking contentment and knowledge that I don't aim to hurt, I don't aim to fucking like capitalise off other people, I don't go out to do anything but try and help people and, you know, be nice. That's all I'm about, you know? And people fucking hate that. People fucking hate it. People are like, yeah, fucking, you know. And that is a sad indictment on society, isn't it? But you can't be nice without having some sort of agenda. Exactly. You know, and that's what the world's come to. But on purpose, so that fucking nice, decent people who just try and be nice, oh, they're fucking this, they're that, they're whatever. You know? So fuck them. Tony, I'll get my teeth on the 2nd. Exactly. The truth will out. Blessed be the meek. Whatever it is. I'll get my teeth on the 2nd. Yeah, I've had the scan and everything done. Get it on 2nd, 9 o'clock on the 2nd. Not that cheers, bro. Not that it makes any difference, but just being able to chew things would be nice. I mean, I've managed to get. I'm still there. I've managed to get this far, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. You know, all three of us would be. You know, Watson's in the same boat. Tony's been through all this and like come out the other side, you know. What's his playing the game at the moment? It is fucking rubbish, isn't it? I'll tell you what though, Watson. I mean this. In a minute, it's all gonna fucking drop into place. And one thing will back up another thing for me, and then suddenly I'll be earning some money. And once I start earning some money, I can put it into other things and before you know it, I'm gonna be making enough money to help people. And when I am at that point, I will be fucking sending a fucking PayPal to you to try and get your fucking teeth done, whatever it can be. I'll make that pledge to you now. And you hold me to that. Cheers, Tony. Thank you, mate, and yours. You know, I mean that. But my whole fucking point in life is to fucking help people. I might not be able to give monetary assistance to people at the moment, but I certainly fucking do my level best in any other way I can. But in a minute, I will be able to do it, and I intend to be able to help people because I really fucking nothing like having fuck all, and you know every fucking thing going against you, making you want to give up because that's the whole point of it. You know, we've got a fucking job to do. We have got a purpose in life, you know, and the system is not for good. It's definitely not for good. What not? It is not for good. You know, there are little bits and bobs about the system that can help you. You know, and I'm fully grateful for that. But overall, the system is not good. And it doesn't want the likes of you or I or you and us to come to fruition because us coming to fruition is the ultimate. Yeah, exactly. Us coming to fruition and fulfilling our fucking prophecies goes against the fucking system that they have created and they don't want the good to come through. I am here, that's right. I am here. And the light is coming. The light is coming. It's getting there. Yeah, look at this. You might be able to see it. Oh, not quite. Look. Hang on. Do you see that in the distance? That little peak above that house? That little peak above that house in the middle there? That's Grandma. That's Mount Sion. That's Mountain Falls, whatever you want to call it. And the light is about to come through. You know, and today is solstice. In the morning, it's solstice. And that's what I mean. You know, when you put it all together, that's my strength. That hill is what I draw strength from. And of all the fucking places in the world for me to all the places in the world for me to wound up when I've hit literally rock bottom, and I've got that. I could have lived anywhere in this town and I wouldn't be able to see that. Okay, where I live might not be fucking luxury, but it's safe and it's a building point, and I can see that every single day. I look up there and I think, thank you. So look at that. Then I look at this beautiful lady. There she is, that Mount Sion, Grandma, and there it is. You know, you can't make this shit up. You know what people miss about falling? Yeah, Grandma. No, it's not. It's not Mount Sion. That's what I call it. That's what I call it because there's like, yeah, there you go. Exactly. And you know, I hold that dear to my heart. You know, I could have landed anywhere on this world. But where I landed was exactly where I needed to be. Yeah, I call it Mount Sion because it's a long deep one this is. But basically where I live is called Paradise, just down the road. Where I used to live. It's called Paradise, and apparently the Holy Family came here. But in the town, in the town, I realised that the whole fucking geography and the buildings and everything else, it basically recreated the Garden of Eden. Now you're all right, mate. Don't worry, I've got a fucking sixth sense of humour as well. It recreated the Garden of Eden, either physically already here or built bit by bit, and that exactly. You've always got to get back on your horse and ride, or back on your bike and ride, but somehow, some way, they recreated the Garden of Eden. But then with all the stuff I started realising, this Commons Beaumont says that the Garden of Eden was already here, and it all got fucking taken from here and usurped to the Middle East. And that's why you guys started getting the fucking hump about the other day, because I had the fucking nerve to say that, because I've done my research, you know what I mean? And it all comes in together. All the stuff I've come up with, someone else has said fucking nearly 100 years ago. I didn't know it. And it backs up all the stuff I've said. But because that fucking put someone's nose out of joint, because apparently they were related to Jesus. Yeah, exactly. It's all fucking bullshit, you know. There's literally thousands of hundreds of millions of years of civilization, but people want to fucking bang everything into the last 2,500 years with this fucking bullshit. It's bullshit. Phyllis, or my twin sister Phyllis. It's so fucking bullshit. But once again, it puts someone's nose out of joint, because me saying that the Middle East isn't in the Middle East and it all comes out of Britain. Oh, that fucking chucked a fucking white old fucking stink bomb in there. So then, you know, and these holy but holies, they can't have it. And as I said, it doesn't mean they're not related to Jesus. It just means that Jesus didn't come from fucking Israel. Because actually, if you do the proper work and you compare what is said in the Bible to these places, geographically, archaeologically, geologically, etymology, it's got fuck all to do with the Middle East. Even Egypt. Oh yeah, but all Egypt. I'm like, yeah, but do you not done the work? All the pharaohs, they're all got red hair. They've got red hair and they've got Irish DNA. So what does that tell you? What does it mean? Well, it means they're fucking people from Ireland. They all come from Ireland. It's obvious, isn't it? And that ain't me making that up. It is a fucking fact. Near enough, all the pharaohs, anyone that they've uncovered, any of these mummies, they've all got red hair and they've all got fucking Irish DNA. So it must mean they all come from Ireland, doesn't it? Got to, hasn't it? Must do. Maybe I'm wrong. And if I am wrong, then you know what? I'll hold my hands up and say, SG. Yeah. I just people love to be involved in truth or mysticism until their part of it is a little bit fucking. And then they'll be like, oh, no. So they'll go with a lot of things. Do you know what I mean? They go a lot with true stuff. But the moment you say anything that might make them out to be not who they make themselves out to be, no, they won't have it. No, won't have it. Why not have it? But it's fucking obvious, isn't it? Exactly, mate, exactly. And then the fucking those who've been hoodwinked into believing that those people who live this devout, pious, fucking spiritual lifestyle, you know? Yeah, exactly. I'd love to be wrong. But the thing is, I spent fucking absolute donkey years and ever since I was a fucking child, I've been into history and I've been searching, I've been learning, you know? And one thing I will say is that my intuition's pretty good, you know? And I won't waste my time fucking, arguing a toss. And like I was saying, I might be wrong. And that's the most important thing anyone has to learn is that with all this fucking palaver, no matter what it is, 1% of anything, if you're not, it's not 100%. Exactly, mate. But 1% when it comes to an argument, or what's the word? People arguing about stuff. All you need is 1%, and that fucking blows it all out of the water. So unless you completely 100% know, there's no point fucking arguing about it because 1% is 0.1%. There's a chance you could be wrong, and all these people, they're never fucking wrong. No, I could be wrong. I could have been wrong about the whole thing, but I've got enough fucking courage in my convictions to be able to fucking stand up for what I've learned and what I've been able to fucking decipher. Yeah, exactly, mate. Exactly. Like I said, it all comes out in the wash, bro. It all comes out in the wash. But with it all, you know, there's a possibility I could be wrong, you know. I'll be like, I could be wrong, but I could be right. It's 50-50, isn't it? No matter what it is. Either it is or it isn't. But the moment it fucking blows their illusion, exactly, bro. And that's it. Luckily, throughout this whole fucking journey, and these fucking groups of fucking bullies and people attacking you, it's made me stronger than anything, you know. And I can stand there with my head held high, knowing that I am in the right. It doesn't mean I am right about everything I say, but I'm in the right when it comes to what I do. And that speaks fucking volumes. I don't need to be the fucking most popular person. I'd rather have no friends or 2 friends like you two than thousands of fucking wannabe hangers on trying to fucking like bump their own fucking egos up. Yes, mate. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. And Massa as well. I thought the kinfolk was a bit bigger, but luckily, I'm fully grateful that the world fucking gives. The world is a great fucking great test and a great shower of fucking truth. Those who fucking walk the walk and talk the talk, or those who talk the talk but fucking don't walk the walk. You know what I mean? And it comes out pretty fucking quickly. What we were talking about earlier. What's that? You know, those fucking enlightened holy holies, fucking namaste, 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 all love and light bullshit. They're the worst ones. They're the fucking most vitriolistic, vicious snakes. You know? Exactly, mate. Oh, bud, you know, I'm pretty resilient, you know what I mean? I might get my head down and fucking go to work for a little bit, but that's because I'm fucking regaining my fucking, building my fucking power back up, you know, like on a computer game. You know, when you fucking low on your fucking health. Okay, I'll drop back down. I'll go to ground, as they say, build up my fucking my health. Exactly, mate. I build up my health. Do the stuff that people don't see. You know, I can fucking every day I'll do something. Like the other day, right? There's this fucking poor old fucker trying to fucking push his car because he couldn't fucking get car started. So I was like, hang on a minute, mate. I said, you get in. I pushed the car back, and then I said, get your missus out, put your foot on the clutch, into second gear. When I say go, take your foot off the clutch. I pushed him on my own, got the car going. And he's like, oh, thank you, sir. You're a gentleman. We could have done it on our own. I said, no worries, mate. It fucking took me a fucking couple of minutes, you know, because I'm able to do it. Now, every day I could be putting stuff on the internet about that, but I didn't need to. Because all they'll do is like, oh, he's just fucking trying to make himself sound fucking better or some big himself up. Well, you know, the fucking actions speak louder than words. You know, all I need to do is fucking every fucking animal that comes near me is all over me, won't leave me alone. Now, you see a difference. Because a lot of these fucking super special fucking gurus, they fucking hate animals. They'll say that stuff like, I hate cats or whatever, you know? There you go. It all comes out because the innocence and the fucking goodness shines out, same as kids and fucking babies and that, you know? It's like, they gravitate to you because they know that you are good. You don't get fucking cats and dogs fucking all over you when you're nasty. They're fucking stay well away from you. They're the best judges of character. Yeah, exactly. There you go, Tony. Amen to that, brother. You know what? That's fucking lovely. But it's true, you know? It's fucking weird, but, mate, it's like, you didn't really see Zena, my friend's old dog, and I used to take her walking every day, and I fell in love with her, and she fell in love with me, and Zena was taken away from me and sent away, and I felt so helpless because I couldn't do nothing to help her, and it really fucking done my head in, because I thought, that dog loved me, and I love that dog more than anyone. She got taken away from me, and I felt so powerless and so like I almost felt like I let her down. But in the grand scheme of things, Zena's gone to a nice home with a nice family, and her life will be better. But exactly. But what actually happened was that my friend who got rid of the dog because she got the hump. And I love her to bits, you know what I mean? She's got her own issues and fucking problems, and you know, I'd rather be me and not have those problems that she does. But, you know, what ended up happening is that my friend's daughter ended up moving in with a new dog, same sort of dog, same everything. Fell in love with me straight away, and she's all over me, do you know what I mean? And it's like, I've only known her a couple of weeks, but I take her out for walks, and I'm nice to her, and I cuddle her, and I'm just nice to her, and I don't shout and bawl at her, and I don't say, get in your bedroom, just nasty, and she loves me, you know, and I am truly blessed because the chances of that happening, the chances of someone I love being sent away because it not spitefully, but because someone couldn't handle themselves, and then like another, the chances of it are almost zero. The same breed of dog, the same dog but a different colour, a little bit younger, better trained, a little bit more fucking jittery. But you know, I can't. I'm so blessed, you know what I mean? And if I had thank you, mate, I appreciate that. That's because I don't want to fucking hurt animals. I can't stand people that horrible animals. I was setting up this farm, it was all planned out, and the guy was like, I remember the one dog, real bad skin, and she was fucking flea bitten and everything. I bathed her and everything, and I tried to dry her, and I was just trying to be nice, and the guy goes, fucking, there's just a fucking dog. And I was there thinking, you fucking cunt. Absolute cunt. Yeah, man. I can't. And you know what? That fucker, he had fucking 6 dogs, right? 4 of the poor bastards were working dogs outside, and they were just treated like cunts. The 2 dogs inside were treated like cunts. Now he's got none of them, and the oldest one has been put down, and he's not allowed to have any more animals. You know? And I just think, and his whole flock, everything he does touches turns to shit because he's a horrible, nasty bastard. You know, and then poor fucking dogs. You know, for those dogs fucking love me. Those dogs, he had them dogs because they're fucking like the most fucking vicious, nasty fucking dogs you can get. You should have seen them around me. They absolutely fucking love me. They're all fucking puppies. Like, there you go, man. It's like you say that people fucking, those are the sorts of people that bring up kids that have got no love, and they're just fucking nasty and fucking, and they turn out to be horrible fuckers as well. Yeah, and that's what we're fucking fighting against. But, you know, just be fucking nice to people. You don't need to be. If people were, oh, I don't know. It's fucking fucked up, isn't it, man? The world is a cruel and nasty place. But luckily, yes, mate, and me, I love animals. I used to be scared of animals. When I was little, I used to be absolutely scared of all animals. Cats, dogs, you know. I love dogs. My mum was allergic to cats. So me being close to cats was difficult. But then when I remember living in London, we took on a cat, and that cat was sweet. But the problem with cats is they get fleas real easy. And like if you're not on top of it, fleas and dogs, fleas could be a big problem. But when I got my cat, you know, it's like, yeah, man. When I got my cat, I fucking basically, well, so I saved her. She saved me in the same way. It's one of those things, you know. It all happened in divine timing. I was trying to get a fucking cat because that winter it was really cold and we had mice coming in the house, and my dad was like, "Oh, fucking mice, get mice traps and all that." And I thought to myself, I didn't want to kill the fucking poor mice. Do you know what I mean? They're just trying to get in the house because they're fucking freezing to death and they want to survive. You know what I mean? Rather than just kill them, I thought if I get a cat, they'll just not want to come in the house. They'll stay away. They'll go somewhere else. And when lockdown happened, obviously all the fucking pet places and sanctuaries and that all got closed down. So I sort of put a spanner in the works, and I was like, "No, we don't want a cat. We do not want a cat. No, 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 no." Anyway, I sort of given up because all the animal places were like closed, and you couldn't go down. You couldn't get animals anyway. And then one night, when I wasn't working, I'd just gone to bed early, supposed to work nights. Phone come out, Jesus, works on the phone. I was like, "Oh no, I'm pissed, can't come in." They go, "No, no, no, we think we need to come into work." I was like, "Oh, well, what's the matter? You're still looking for a cat?" I was like, "Yeah, well, what do you mean?" They go, "Someone's abandoned the cat here, left their box, they left loads of food, and left a little note and everything." I said to my dad, he goes, "Oh, no, 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 no." I said, "Come on, let's have him for the night, let's see how it goes, you know. And if it's not good, I'll take her to the thing in the morning." Ooh, he weren't happy about it, so I brought her back and let her out the like carry case, and she immediately made a little fucking burrowed herself into a little fucking like a little den. I thought, "Oh, fucking hell, she might be fucking pregnant." Because my friends' cats and had cats, and they done the same thing, and my sisters had cats and they had kittens and that. And my dad was like, "Oh, she's lumpy around the girls. She's got kittens. She's got kittens." I was like, "No, no, no, she hasn't." And what happened is that she had kittens, and then because she had kittens, they got rid of her. But in the end, she was my dad's best friend. My dad, all he cared about was, "Where's Tinkerbell? What's Tinkerbell doing? Is Tinkerbell all right?" I was like, "Yeah, Tinkerbell sound bad." And Tinkerbell, like, comforted Dad when I was at work, when I went there. And Dad comforted Tinkerbell. And it was a lovely little, not a vicious circle, a beautiful circle. A beautiful circle of life. And sweetness. People that are fucking horrible animals are just something wrong with them. Hang on a minute, I've had the thing on backwards the whole time. Right. No, I haven't. Yeah. Sorry, up in a minute. Oh, what happened to that right now? It would be something to do with fucking me being organised. Have I fucking done this? Have I done that? Have I tidied my room? Have I fucking paid the fucking whatever? His whole life was surrounded by fear, especially due to lockdown. My brother, same. They lived in like a completely regimented fucking world where everything had to be done, and you know, whereas me, I'm fucking free spirit, you know. I didn't care about any of that shit because I know ultimately, whatever happens, I'll be alright, you know, because I do things from my heart which are good for other people, and I always do things for other people. Whereas those two are completely different makeups to me. You know, don't get me wrong, there are similarities, many similarities, but when it comes to like my priorities, totally different. You know, I have no respect for the powers that be, for the fucking. Yeah, of course. Yeah, no, I miss. I mean, the thing with my brother. Thing is with my brother, he was more like my dad because he was 18 years older than me, and from a totally different fucking way of life. So, when I was little, my brother was my biggest hero. But then when I got older and, you know, or totally different, you know. And but yeah, you know, I would rather they were alive. You know what I mean? It's weird with my brother. Yeah, it's weird with my brother. It's like, well, my dad. Oh, mate, I used to hate my dad, and now I miss him so much. He's like became my best mate because it's just me and him. Literally, me and him against the world, and it was fucking difficult, you know. And you know, I fucking went through the ringer, but even though he wrote me out of the world, I let him fuck all. I'd do it all again. I'd look after him again, you know. That even fully knowing I'm going to get fuck all out of it, I'd still do it because I love him. I love him. I love him. I miss him. And for all the negative, nastiness, not nastiness, all the bad parts of it, it turned me. Exactly, mate. For all the negative and the sadness and the heartache, it's made me a stronger person, a better person, and by that happening, it will help other people. I'm sure of that. Here comes the light. It's gonna be hot as fuck today. A bit misty. But all good. All good. Oh, I show you how fun is knocking about around there. Oh, that's what I was looking for. If I ask you a question, yeah, go on. What would it be? If I ask you a question, what is it? Oh, if I ask you a question, what would it be? Am I supposed to say what you asked me? When you ask me if am I alright? Am I happy? I'm hoping. I've got this old style from my old right. Hooray! Okay. If I do $10 million, but you wouldn't see tomorrow. No, fuck. What's the point? What's the point? $10 million for a day. It's pointless, isn't it? I get by on fuck all. I've done, but I'll ask God knows how long. Not going to make much difference. I'd rather have 1,000 years of fuck all. No, sometimes I do. You know, I'm quite happy having fuck all. Because I'm still here. I've survived on fuck all for a long time. But it'll get to a point where I have got money, and with that money, I'll help other people, and then that will knock-on effect will help me, will help others, will help me, and it'll be a reciprocated cycle.
A pretty
of
bloody thing in the beginning
happiness.
because you're changing some old paradigms, and these old paradigms are not just going to give up of their own and pass away.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, mate. Yeah. Fuck all means nothing. Yeah, fuck. I've never been asked that. Yeah, there is a level of loss in translation, I would imagine, from my West Country common English. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to take nothing. I don't want anything money. Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah. Fuck all means, I tell you what, I saw this program once and it's really interesting that, where I heard that the word fuck is used in every single context except for fuck, the actual meaning of a fuck. So you think about fuck off, fuck you, fuck me, fuck them, fuck it, fuck this. Fuck a lot of you, all those things, but it never actually means fuck, does it? It means everything else but fuck, apart from butt fuck. Oh no, I heard it meant forced, unlawful, carnal knowledge. But I've not heard that one before. I like that. Fornication under consent of the king. Ooh. Wow, there you go. Yeah, but I've heard it also meant forced. Fuck had king had a fuck. Well, the king had to have fuck orders. Oh, yeah, basically. Yeah. So fuck all means nothing. I ain't got fuck all. Sorry. No, prevent marriage. I'll put to prevent marriage. Oh. Oh, there you go. Well, I think the king at the moment in this country would be having first crack at everyone's husband or fucking son. Oh. Well, there you go. See? It's strange, isn't it? Americans seem to be obsessed with royalty. Well, I can't stand royalty. Oh, I hate it. All the whole thing. British Empire, I hate it. I should be American, really, because I can't stand the British Empire and what it means. What, St. Valentine's? Oh, well, there you go. Oh, well, you learn something new every day. I didn't know that. That's interesting, thank you. But yeah, what's that? Fuck all means nothing. So when you manage to survive on nothing, literally, and you've got various fucking habits and addictions, and still manage to get through, you know. But um, it makes you realise that money is all of it is just bullshit. You know, don't get me wrong. I'd like to be able to waste money on something other, or live a pretend life of like credit and big house, big car, all this stuff. But ultimately, it's actually less than having nothing, isn't it? Really, because you're minus. You're in negative. So what's the point? It's just a big show, isn't it? It's just a big game. Big game. I've got this, I've got that, I've got the other. But actually, they've got less than you because they really might have things. Exactly. No, but the point is that all these things, how many how many people really own their own house outright, have no debt, and of all these things? Most of the people that have all the stuff, it's all like against. So actually, they've got less than you. They might have physical things, but they owe shitloads of money for it, and they'll spend the rest of their life trying to pay it off. Whereas me, I don't owe fuck all 21. Maybe a couple of people a few quid, but I owe one person a couple of quid, definitely. But on the whole, I have nothing, and I'm happy with it. Yeah, exactly. It's all nonsense, isn't it? It's a manifesting. I always think to myself, people go manifest. I've been quite. I've got. I've got rid of the manifestor name on there a few times, but everyone knows me as Manny, so I'm quite happy to keep it. And in all honesty, I am a master manifestor. I'm not manifesting fucking millions of pounds and houses and fucking Porsches and Mercedes, but I'm manifesting the things that actually make my life better at the moment, And it'll all come in good time. But the more if you actually try and manifest anything, oh, well, no, there is no queen anymore. Well, I suppose there is, but. Oh. Oh, where the fuck is anyway? 368. You don't know what that means? Well, I think the most important thing when it comes to manifesting is to not manifest or not try. Listen 3 times. 368. 368. No, I'm lost. Oh, God. Tony, listen 3 times, speak 6 times, read 9 times, but I thought it was 368. 369, you mean? You meant 369, didn't you? Okay, now. 369.1. God. And it's another day of me staying up all night. I blame the football this time because I was watching Scotland, which didn't go down as I hoped. What's the time, mate? You're in Missouri, yeah? So, no, I learned something the other day. St. Louis? St. Louis or St. Louis? No, hang on. That was it. Kansas City ain't in Kansas, is it? The main Kansas City. City got World Cup there. Oh, it's all fucking bollocks anyway. I don't believe it's all fucking fixed. Ah, right. So they were saying because I think England were oh, fucking hell. Yeah, England were training in Kansas City, I think it was. Or are training, that's where their fucking home base is in Kansas City. And even me, the most fucking skeptical of football fucking people now, still difficult not to get involved. Just because it's, I suppose it's something. I don't really watch TV, but I've sort of given up on football. But the World Cup is such a fucking black magic fucking ritual that even me, even though I know not to get sucked in, it's difficult not to. It's a national fucking illness. You Americans have been, yes, mate. It is. It is. And like I say, it's a big black magic ritual. So hard not to get involved with. The problem is, this is exactly what I just said. There's no problem. I know full well. I shouldn't be giving my power away to it. But you know what? Half the time we just have it on in the background. It's sort of like second nature. Exactly, brother. But in all honesty, I'd actually rather Scotland won the World Cup than England, and that's a weird thing to say, but I've grown up always liking Scotland and England the same. For this World Cup, I got Norway to follow. Usually I'd have Denmark, but I don't think. Oh, I don't think Denmark win this World Cup. They're not. And Ireland. It's 3 out of 5 ain't bad, is it? What I don't get is how I'm not Welsh. Yes, mate, exactly. Oh, it's all a fucking big fucking black magic ritual. You know? Very difficult to it's very powerful magic. All sport is. I will be watching. No, I do. Exactly. It's true. It is. It's one big fucking black magic ritual, energy harvesting, world fucking one world religion. You wait. You mark my words. That's what it will be done through. And another thing, so most people, with what I'm about to say, will be like, he is absolutely fucking doolally. What a fucking nutter. But I've been going on for quite a long time now about football being the one world religion. I didn't make this up. I was enlightened to this, and I've noticed a few. Oh, what, the old fucking turny table foosball, isn't it? What do they call it? Yeah, he probably would. I'm still actually quite good at football. I was in a park the other day, and there's this dad and his daughter, the Romanian guy. I said, "Yes, the ball." I was there fucking flicking out, didn't keep you up, so then I went over and where, and I did a backwards kick and kicked it to him, and he went, "Oh, Rooney." I was like, "Yes, mate, no worries." But there's a point I'm making. So football being the one world religion, and Prince William being the potential head of the New World Order. Oh, nice. The head of the New World Order, or the Antichrist, yeah. And Prince William is the president of the FA. And I was like, that's funny, that, isn't it? But the potential head of the New World Order, of the New World One World Religion, is also
They're going to want to continue,
the head, the president of the
and
FA.
so there will be a lot of conflict. And
and the home of football is Wembley. Strange, huh?
And so when he saw world wars, if he had lived to see the hippie era, for instance, or any of these other sort of youth movements, he would have definitely understood this. Definitely. He may not have approved of the methods and the way it went about, but he would have known to probably step back and accept it to a degree, because this was all these
Here comes the sun,
birth pangs
darling.
of the new aeon.
No, sort of,
leading
wasn't it?
to greater
That's what I
freedom.
stream. I hate
See,
fucking.
we're trying to hear about the occult.
I hate
One thing
type.
to understand about occultists like him, and there's many others, his mentor Rabelais, and going back to even Cornelius Agrippa, and Madame Blavatsky and these kinds of people, most of the magicians of that nature, and this includes MacGregor Mathers and other people, absolutely essential to understand about their doctrines is they believe that man was born good. Yeah, you can't get anywhere unless you understand this. You may not agree. I mean, I don't particularly agree with this, but stating as it was to these people, they were born with the idea that man is born good, and so any kind of evil that you see being done in the world is to do with the pathogenic forces outside them. Yeah, they're sworn to this. It has to be parents, it has to be peers, it has to be priests, politicians, and things you can put your finger on. It has to be worldly indoctrination, and that's where to look. It has to be. Yeah, this is a fundamental precept. They were unshakable on this point. Yes, they're agreeing that there's evil in the world, but this is all to do with the forces of oppression. And it's very interesting that Aleister Crowley is sort of born around about the time when psychoanalysis is, coming to the fore. And in some ways, he even anticipated Carl Jung, who somewhat in dates came a little bit later than Crowley was already speaking. So there's something to be said there. And in any case, Crowley was well up to speed on human psychology. Unlike Freud, who believed that man is born basically a beast, has evil in his being, inherently, innately, and that if he didn't have civilization, he wouldn't be doing any good at all, right? You have to have imposed acculturation to get man to throw aside the sort of Mr. Hyde aspects, so that he can be a civilized being. You've got to reverse that with the world's occultists. Yeah, they fall between science and religion. They don't think that either of those two things answer anything fundamental. Science is never going to answer why you are born in this world, why you, as who you are in yourself, came to be here, or what lies on the other side. And other fundamentals about the nature of the mind and consciousness. It doesn't even work on those. It's not giving answers to those things. In fact, it breeds a kind of a dogma of its own, and it breeds conformity of its own. So some occultists nod to science and go, yeah, we need it for various reasons, but we'd like to see it being improved, because it breeds a kind of a dogma of its own, and it is not actually answering the greater questions about the fundamental nature of reality or nature. And then they're looking at religion and saying, look, these guys are looking off-world. They don't even notice the physical world at all. So you got science on one side that is debasing man's earthy nature, thinking everything is just dead matter, and material blocks just crashing into each other. How preposterous. How could we ever sign on for that? And then you've got religion that is mostly taking your focus off yourself and off the planet into some supernatural realm, that none of which can be really verified and corroborated, you see? So occultism tended to, want to steer a course between these things. Yeah. But again, the fundamental principle is man is good. Therefore, he's got to uncover his goodness.
No.
Cover his goodness. He's got to uncover his connection to the moral universe. It's not a matter of a dead universe around him. It's about something very vital and very living, which has many, many secrets that it's not just openly, disclosing. And so the good man, he is Anthropos, he is Adam Kadmon, and he is, occultism is him discovering his perfection through a period of purification, and spiritual evolution. So this is what Rudolf Steiner, this is what McGregor Mathers, Aleister Crowley, they all took for Madame Blavatsky, they all took this. And for Crowley, though, specifically, he wanted to commit to the process of perfection, but realizing that you're surrounded by pathological forces that then get interjected, and then this makes you less than good. So you have to, one by one, expunge these principles, these forces, whatever they may be. And if they become psychic, then again, you have to will your way out of it. You've got to listen to your own true will and get rid of these impositions. This is why I use the term, this is why I identify him quite closely in some ways with William Blake. But he has a lot in common with Schopenhauer, and Rabelais, and others as well. In this regard, he was focused on this idea of liberation, because nothing can be achieved when you are utterly dependent on other people, what they think, say, and do.
Yeah. There you go.
And he saw the whole of the world being entrapped and enchained this way, and it's becoming the norm. So this is where I think his work is distinguished from other occultists.
Well, Tony, there is also the fact that they're hell-bent on scriptures becoming true, because they're hell-bent on that's the only way it can be, and that's the word of the Lord and everything else. But actually, it's much older than that. They're now running to a script, and a lot of the shit that plays out is purposely so that it runs alongside this fucking prophetic nonsense. Exactly. It has to be, because if it's not, the whole world crumbles down. And the problem is that the powers that be, and anyone who's actually got half a fucking ounce of fucking nous, knows that it's much, much more than the whole fucking big book, and the real powers. Yes, mate. Give your love to your mum, mate, and well done for helping your mum. That sounds patronising, but it's good to look after our loved ones, especially when other ones that should do you as good as your mum's done you haven't been good. It makes your mum even more important. I can see me crashing out soon. What's the time? 5:06. We'll keep on trucking. So the trucking's done. What time are you rocking there, Tone?
And it's becoming the norm. So this is where I think his work is distinguished from other occultists, because his Aeon of Horus was a time of freedom. But he knew that freedom also brings these challenges. And there's part of us that wants to then go back to, who finds freedom somewhat threatening and might want to be re-enslaved again very, very easily. So we have to watch out for all of
Yes,
that.
mate.
So I think his work
Exactly.
is very valuable in that regard.
Exactly. But one thing I will say is one thing I have learned. 11 p.m. Oh, nearly 11:11 then. One thing I did learn is that even though you might feel like one of them hasn't been good, sometimes you are shown that although they might have gone around things a way that you don't appreciate and it seems bad, in the greater scheme of things, they actually did what they did because they just wanted the best of you and they loved you, but they didn't know how to do it. Now, that was a big lesson for me with my dad. Do you know what I mean? I fucking hated my dad. Oh, go on. But with me and my dad, I fucking hated my dad for a long time. But in the end, it was I was blessed to be able to look after him, you know. Done a lot for me in the grand scheme of things. Although he wasn't a particularly nice person, didn't treat my mum well, and there's many bad things to him. But deep down, I mean, it's like everything. There's always something that causes. Like he says, man was born bad. Ah, mate. I didn't know that, mate. Oh, dearie dear. Oh, dearie me. Sorry, Tony. Oh, mate. I never knew that. Sorry that. Mate, that must have been horrible. That must have been really fucking tough. No. No, fair enough, you know. Sorry about that, mate. Well, you know, I send my love out to you, bro. It's a fucking cruel world, isn't it? All I can say is, I'm lucky that good man, exactly, hasn't tainted you, brother. Many people it would do. You know, one of my best friends, or so-called best friends, similar thing. He's a very bitter person, a very angry and vengeful person, which is a shame because he's also a really lovely person, but he's got that dark bitterness. I do I don't pity him, I don't pity anyone, but I do feel in my heart, I feel for him because it affected him in an adverse way, you know, and it's understandable. Life is fucking tough. I've been very lucky. Okay, I might not have had an ideal fucking upbringing, but I wasn't fucking. Well, my dad smacked me in that, but he didn't beat me up. He didn't abuse me. I wasn't sexually abused. I was mentally tormented, but I think a lot of it is he couldn't cope with me. What do you think he would say? What do you think he would say about me now? My dad. Ah, God, you can make me cry, mate. I think my dad would, for all the fucking for all the things. I think he'd say thank you. I like to think he would. No, he would. I think he would say. I think he'd be proud. Oh, I know he'd be proud of me. I might not be the most perfect person in an ideal world, but I'm a perfect person in a chaotic world because I do what I do. I don't leave a trail of wake. I don't leave a fucking trail of fucking heartbreak or fucking, you know. The worst thing in the world happened to me when yeah, man, I'm alright. I think him passing and coming back to talk to me, he would see things in a completely different light. But you know, I haven't fucked around and had kids here, there, and everywhere. Left a trail of wake of fucking heartbreak and fucking like not cared for fucking people. Cheers, mate. Cheers, bro. I made sure that when what happened when my fucking child that was never born into this world, I promised that fucking child, I promised myself that I would never be in a situation for that to happen again. When I have kids, yeah, exactly, man. When I have kids, it's because it was planned, you know. All right, not everything can be perfect, but I'll never have kids and resent. Yeah, man, I'm all right, man. I'm nearly there. I'm getting there. I've had to hit the bottom to be able to come back up, and I will be all right. It's all good, man. I'm all right. But what I'm point of making is that I wouldn't fucking promise my baby and myself that I wouldn't ever get to a situation where a life has to be terminated because it wasn't right. Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm all right, mate. I'm all fucking good. I'm on that road back to fucking vitality, and in a minute, I'm going to be suddenly be like, oh, nah, man, I'm all right, mate. Oh, no, I do appreciate it, too. I've got a little way to go as far as getting back on track, but I'm all good. In a minute, I'm going to be like, how the fuck did that happen? I'm going to be in a new place, a nice job. Well, I didn't need to have a job. I'll have my own income, and it'll be good. It's all good here, anywhere as it is, you know. I've got no highfalutin fucking outlook. I'm just being as I am. People with a moustache. And then I just go, and I'll hold that. In fact, look at this, Tony. Ready? I'm going to do like that in a couple of weeks. And you have to go, hey, Tony, do you like H's? Oh, look at that. Hey, look at it. Hey, how you doing, Tony? You like my teeth? Brilliant, isn't it? The power of suggestion. I'll tell you what, I've had a lot of fun with that kaleidoscope. You know, just with my hands go, I've literally created a vortex. and my bloody Dallas Cowboys #1. There's all sorts of things, mate. Now, I can't work out if it's going to be a nice day today. It feels like it's going to be... Oh, no, it's not going to be a nice day. You know why? I look Polish. I look polished. I'll tell you what, it's not going to be a nice day today, shall I, Tony? I am able to predict the future, and it will be shit until the 22nd. You know why? Have a wild guess. The most important day of the year as the sun's concerned. The most important day of the year as far as the sun is concerned. You know why? It's bloody solstice, isn't it? So, so what would normally be a nice, beautiful, clear summer's day will be a shitty, cloudy, cotton wool effect across the whole sky. I guarantee it. Solstice, that's right. And I'm going to do my level best to get to Glastonbury today, even if it means riding a fucking bike and staying out all night under the sun or the moon. So I can wake up in the morning on Glastonbury tour, go, ah. I'd like to go to Avebury. Hey, Tammy. That's amazing, isn't it? Ooh, I am the Invisible Man. Ooh. One day you won't see me. Goof. What's this? Whoa! That's fine. Returning. I'm playing some music on the whole, but too early. Oh, hang on, this might not work. Good name. Oh, yeah, hang on. Oh, hang on, this might not work. Bring it back. Let's go and give it to you. Oh, I'll give it to you. Let's go and give it to you. Oh, like that. Hey, look. It's like Deadpool. I'll get you, Tony. I like the Maltese cross there as well. He disappeared. Can't magic your grades away though. Yes. One. One and one. Two is me and you. 2 plus 1 is 3. I'm going to sing that. 1, 1, 1, 1. 11, 11. God, it's fucking boiling in there. I want to get my body out, but it's too early for that. 1 times 1 equals 2. There you go. 1. Right. I'm going to say good night because I do need to get some sleep. That's fucking boiling. I can't be doing this bloody. These tops just make you sweat even worse than bloody. You'll say, oh, good. Buenas noches. Love you, love you, love you. Good night. God bless. Love you, Tony. Love you. I'll see you on the next slide.